allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Robert.
I don't know why we always have to be interrogated.
Well, the new colors, it's really bright. Amendments, Robert?
Mr. Chairman, the only change is the superintendent asked if he could do his report after mine. He'll be coming later, Superintendent Wetzel. So we'll just run the meeting and put him after the town administrator.
Okay. Gary, Janice, you guys have anything?
No.
Okay.
I make a motion.
Yeah, I have a couple things, but if
we
it's
can just add
time,
them.
selectmen's questions.
Sure.
I know we get a long meeting, and we have executive session, so I'll wait till we have the time.
Okay, great.
Okay, I make a motion.
Second. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm back.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
One announcement, the transfer station spring and summer hours. Transfer station change in hours effective April 4th, 2018. Spring and summer hours will be in effect. The transfer station, The transfer station will be open from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. throughout the spring and summer. That goes back after like Columbus Day, right? So the other
Labor Day.
Labor Day, something like that.
And then,
Oh, you want to do the warrant?
yep. So on behalf of the Board of Selectmen, I signed the following warrants. On February 20th, 2018, the accounts payable 18-15 in the amount of $198,723.43. February 27th, 2018, payroll warrant 18-17 in the amount of $300,245.72. Sorry, I went to the dentist. I Novocaine. And on March 5th, 2018, accounts payable 18-16 in the amount of $1,223,920.60.
Great, thank you. Susan, anybody for public input? But Susan, do you have something you want to add first?
Did you want that to,
Anybody else for public input?
Did you want that to go back, or are you fine doing that?
No, I'm fine.
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure.
Hi.
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 I had a few announcements that I didn't include in time for the packet, so
Sure.
I decided to come under public input. Just to remind that all excise bills have been mailed for 2018. Start on a high note. Due March 28th.
Got mine the other day.
Dog tags are due March 30th, which is a Friday. The census has been mailed and should have been returned, and we are already sending out second notifications and notifications of removal from the voting list. So we're tightening up the deadline. I mean, it should be the end of January anyways, but the annual town election is Monday, April 23rd in the Ayer Town Hall, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. The annual town meeting is Monday, May 14th at the Ayer Shirley Regional High School Auditorium at 7 p.m. The last day to register to vote for both, if you are not already registered to vote, is Tuesday, April 3rd until 8 p.m., 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I have gotten a lot of questions lately. If you have to re-register separately for these every year, once you're registered, you're in, as long as you answer your census every year. The nomination papers for the upcoming election have been received and verified for the candidates running for the offices. The last day to withdraw your name from the ballot is tomorrow, Wednesday, March 21st. So if anyone for any reason decided to want to pull their name, tomorrow's the deadline. Otherwise, the ballot will be sent out, and I will notify you when the absentee ballots are available. So, two more things, sorry. First, the meeting room, as we can see, has been painted, and which
Looks nice.
It looks
I
very
love it.
nice.
I
It's
love it.
bright, and a lot of great feedback.
Yeah.
But there's also been a lot of questions in my office, or to my office, just regarding that the historical aspect was covered. I know it has been said it was, but I don't know if something should be formally said for the public's knowledge, and that they know that it was followed, because this is a historical building. And
There's only
with the-
so many different paints you can use.
Right, exactly, and this is pretty much exactly what we already have in the building, but I just
Right.
wanted to offer that out, that
It's not like
perhaps
you can put
something-
lime green or anything.
It was pretty close before, wasn't it?
right, yeah. So it's just some feedback on that, and I don't know, I mean, I don't expect an answer right this moment, but I just felt that there has been a lot of feedback from the public, and I just thought I'd make that aware that something formally should be said, that it was followed historically.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
If I may, to the town clerk's question. First of all, per the Board of Selectmen, the town administrator is the custodian of the building, both the facility and the grounds. And through that, the town hires a professional facilities director. And I think that Mr. Schultz has done a great job in the brief time that he was here. He filled in all of the gaps in gashes that were in here. And he did contact in Boston, contacted Mass Historic to ask about the paint colors. And these paint colors that he selected are an extension from the same colors that are in the hallway. And I would say overall, from the public, the response has been very positive, that the room looks cleaner and brighter. He also hung up all of the appropriate citations and so forth. So I think that it looks great. And I would just say again that if there are any questions or concerns regarding anything with the town hall or the grounds, that the members of the public should come directly to the Selectmen's office, and I'd be happy to assist them. I don't understand why.
Was this really an issue?
Apparently, the town clerk it has been an issue with her office, and again, I don't understand why it's becoming an issue at the town clerk's office when the Board of Selectmen's office. So just to make it clear, anything that has to do with the building should go through my office or the facilities director. And any implication that the rules and guidelines weren't followed, frankly, number one, is incorrect, and number two is, frankly, professionally insulting.
So that was made apparently as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't even do the windows and we're told not to, so we adhere by anything that is historic.
Well, I think it's change that probably startled people, and then unfortunately, everyone knows that town clerks is where you usually go for anything, so fortunately you get most of the traffic.
Yeah, and normally we have an answer, or the answer we had verbally we knew, and we understand what was happening, but I just felt that if it came, it was something that a lot of questions were coming about it, and we take the historical aspect seriously, so I just felt we should put it on record and clear the air, and we can move along. So
Moving on.
I thank you very much.
No,
That's
thank
all.
you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe we should form a committee next time we paint on.
Good God, no.
I think we're good.
Chief?
Hey, everybody.
Hi, how are you?
You guys want us?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've just asked
Irony,
him
we're
to-
usually freezing.
It's toasty in here. All right, Chief. Good to see you.
I'm doing well. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Thanks for having me before you tonight. I have a number of appointments that I'd like to recommend.
I know.
So we'll just dig right in.
All right.
The first one on your list, I'm withholding at this time,
Okay.
so we will not be talking about that one. If I could ask Darlene Bulow to come up, please.
Hi, Darlene.
Hi,
Board,
how
this
are
is
you?
Darlene.
Hi, good evening, ladies, gentlemen.
So Darlene's a candidate for a full-time position, resident of Templeton, graduate of Newbury College, and with an associate's degree in applied science. She has worked since August of 17 for the city of Fitchburg as a full-time police dispatcher. She's also spent 3 years with Job Corps. She's been the principal clerk at the Attleboro Police Department for 7 years, and she has all the necessary certifications excuse me, in training that we would require, other than our field training that we need to do. Based on her experience and set of certifications, I recommend she be appointed at step 2, just because of her experience level, to the APPOA Communications Division wage scale. And I would like this appointment to be effective April 2nd, contingent upon passing the full background investigation, drug testing, and field training. Excuse me.
Great.
You're doing some traveling from Templeton to Attleboro?
When I was in Attleboro, I was actually living close to Attleboro.
Oh, okay.
My mother-in-law took ill. If my mother-in-law hadn't took ill in 2012, I would still be south, which is towards Attleboro. But I had moved to Leominster to care for her because my husband basically is an only child. And when she took sick, she was a widow herself. So I had to step in and care for her. She's now passed, but the commute from Leominster to Attleboro is what actually had me, caused me to resign.
Yeah.
No, that's understandable.
So what drew you to working in Ayer?
Well, I did the Citizens Police Academy for the Ayer. The police department had it, well, they're doing it now, but they have had it many years, every year. And back at the beginning of 16, it was going, and I was working in Strava Job Corps. So I had asked if I could enlist 5 very serious students that wanted to get in law enforcement, and they were in the security trade already at Strava Job Corps. So they had to write an essay, and the director picked a handful, and she said the only way that they could attend the academy would be if the chief and Sergeant McDonald would, for one, allow a Devon student to go, and the second reason would be if I would bring them on a weekly basis. So having the experience in Attleboro, and law enforcement has been a passion of mine my whole adult life, I went every week, and I went enthusiastically every week with the students and participated just alongside of them, and I fell in love with the station. I fell in love with the camaraderie that I saw, the training that they put on just for the Citizens Police Academy was so in-depth, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And from that moment of graduation, which we had right here in this building, I said, I want to come back and work for Ayer if I can.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Were you one of the drunk people that had to get?
Actually, one of the drunk people is in the back row, and that would be my husband.
Good job.
And I did want to recognize that Darlene's husband, Mark, is in the audience. When he is sober, we check him as
All right.
Gary?
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Darlene Bulow.
Correct.
Correct. To full-time dispatcher, effective April 2nd, contingent upon background, drug, and field training, and step 2 with APPOA Communication Division.
Seconded?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Welcome
Thank you.
aboard.
Looking forward to it.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Let me just smile. Red man. Oh, you're done?
I know, how you doing?
Yeah, good. Glad you're feeling better.
I don't think we need to do introductions.
She looks a little familiar.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
So Janet has applied and we think is a very good candidate for another full-time dispatch position. Everybody knows Janet, resident of Ayer. She has a BA in Applied Economics and Business Management from Cornell, Associates in Small Business Management from Springfield Tech, and a Certificate of Theology and Pastoral Studies from the College of Elms in Chicopee. She currently sits as the chair of the Ayer Community Preservation Committee, the Ayer Housing Authority, and is very involved at St. Mary's Parish Hospital and Nursing Home Ministries. Nothing to tell you, she's got a wide variety of background. She's worked in the NWCC as a gardener prisoner tutor. You may want to ask about that. Budgeting, database editing, financial reporting. I think she's pretty much done it all, so she's just looking for another challenge. And we're going to give it to her.
That's what I do.
She does not have experience, but we don't care about that really with her. We will train her, we'll give her all the certifications, we'll do all the field training. I would ask that she be hired at a step 1, which is our training step, effective April 2nd.
Well, I gotta admit, when I saw your name, I thought it was very exciting. I was
you.
like, is that, wait a minute, I know her, wait.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah. Good way to give back to the community. I mean, I've been here since 1995.
No, I know Janet for years, and I've never seen her make a misstep, so there you go.
Thank you.
and always a smile on her face,
Yeah.
which is nice.
14 muscles to smile, 72 to frown, so I'm lazy.
It's fine.
Oh, that's great.
Make a motion that we appoint Gina Provadakis at a step 1 to full-time dispatcher, APPOA communications wage scale at a, it's a step 1, effective April 2nd, contingent upon background investigation, drug test, and field training, and
Second.
certifications.
Seconded with pleasure.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And give you a little bit of a hard time.
Thanks. All right, thanks, Chris.
Wow, you're gonna always compete.
Gary. Thanks. You got it.
All right.
Board, this is Matthew Colley.
Good evening.
Matthew, how are you?
Thank you.
He's our last full-time, requested full-time appointment for tonight. He's a resident of Shirley and has a Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice from Fitchburg State. He's currently working at Spring Hill Suites as a general maintenance. He also works at the Air Traffic Circle and for the Webster, Mass. Police Department as auxiliary police officer. He is untrained. He's our second untrained for tonight. So he'll have to go through all the normal certifications, but we can provide all of those for him. Recommending again that he started at step 1, which is our training wage, for the APPOA Communication Division wage scale, effective April 2nd, contingent upon passing background invest, drug test, field training, and all the needed certification trainings. And I'd just like to point out that Matt's wife Terry's in the audience in support, along with my staff. Along with my staff. Good.
All right.
Are you, so I see you're an auxiliary police officer. Do you plan on trying to pursue being a full-time officer at some point, or is this just?
No, not even. No, I thought about it at one
Yeah.
point, and I kind of shied away from that.
Okay. That's great.
To make your wife happy?
Less stress.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not saying you have any stress. You don't.
Don't stress at all. Best job in the world.
All right.
Oh, sorry, go, just go. I'm sorry. I just gave you an overdose, sorry.
I know.
Make a motion to appoint Matthew Colley, full-time dispatcher, recommended at a step 1 in the APPOA Communications Division wage scale, effective April 2nd, and continue upon passing background, drug test, field training, and all needed certification trainings.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Welcome aboard, Matthew. Nice to meet you. Congratulations.
Chief, how long is the dispatch academy?
Dispatch Academy?
5 weeks?
That's if you can find one and get into it.
Oh,
All right, they don't schedule them all that often, so that's why we've had to do our own training,
okay.
which we can supply. It's just as good. It just
Sure.
at the academy you just get it all at once.
Yeah.
But we have to spread it out to try to plan and do all of that. So it makes it a little bit tougher for us, but it still can be done. And I should have prefaced before we started
I
tonight.
was just
all
going to
these-
ask you about why.
all these appointments are because of the regionalization with Shirley.
Mhm.
So this is going to be the increased dispatches that we're going to need in order to make that work. So that's why we're all here tonight.
Great.
Great.
And
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman,
Mhm.
through you, to Chief Murray's point, which I think is an important one, as he mentioned, all of these dispatches are for the purposes of the regional dispatch, but I'd also like to publicly thank Chief Murray and Lieutenant Gill and the fire chief, Ms. Cabri, and our administration that we were able to secure the funding for these dispatches from the state 911. So the funding is not coming from the taxpayers of Ayer.
Good point.
And we have also secured the infrastructure funding for Shirley on behalf of Shirley, so we will not need to forward fund that infrastructure money at town meeting. So
As we
again,
suggested.
I think it's a positive.
Our people did all the work. I'm just, but
I think it's a positive for the
good job. I'm not surprised, but I'm just,
I think it's a positive for the town and the future of the regional dispatch.
no, good luck as
That
always.
has been busy.
What's next? We take over the police.
It's been recommended.
Yes.
My last two appointments are for per diem dispatchers. They're both working at their respective jobs, so they can't be here tonight. The first is Jennifer Law. She's a resident of Westminster. She went to Mount Wachusett Community College for a business administration degree. She's been to Becker Junior College for nursing and is a graduate of Reserve Police Training Academy at Gardner. Currently employed with the town of Clinton, where she's working tonight as a public safety dispatcher. She's also been employed with the town of Ashburnham with the same position, and was a public safety dispatch supervisor for the town of Boylston for over 6 years. So she has all the certifications necessary to come to us. She's not part of the bargaining unit, but I would still request, generally per diems, we put them at a step 1, and that's with all per diems. I'd like to be effective April 2nd. Again, contingent upon passing background investigation, drug testing, and field training.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to recommend the appointment of Jennifer Law, Step 1 APPOA Communications Division wage scale for a part-time per diem dispatcher, effective April 2nd, contingent upon passing background investigation, drug testing, and field training.
Seconded?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And lastly, we have Kyle Gordon for per diem. He's a resident of Ayer, has a BS in fire science and a Master of Science in Public Administration from Anna Maria College. He's worked for the town of Tingsboro and Maynard Fire Departments since 2003. Well, and since 2003 has been employed at the Sudbury Fire Department, where he's currently working tonight. Among other duties for the fire department over there, he has done some dispatching, but does not currently possess any certification to do so. So again, he's untrained. He'll need all the certifications and training we have to give him. Start at step 1, please, effective April 2nd, contingent upon passing background, drug test, and field training.
Kyle on the planning board?
Wasn't he?
Wasn't he on one of the boards at one point?
I think he was.
Yeah.
That's why the name rings a bell.
Yes, he was.
The planning board.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why the name rings a bell.
3-4 years ago?
Yeah. I was trying to place
Yeah.
him myself.
So no stranger to us.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to, I'm sorry, just reading something. I'd like the board to appoint Kyle Gordon in the position of per diem dispatcher at step 1 rate of the APPOA Communications Division wage scale, and contingent upon background investigation, drug test, field training, needed certifications effective April 2nd, 2018.
Seconded?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Not done yet.
Oh,
Brian, can you come up, please? You want to lead this off?
Sure.
Thank you.
Hi, Lieutenant.
good evening. Brian?
Mr. Chairman,
Mhm.
members of the board, and I will turn it over to Chief Murray briefly on this next item. The proposal that is put before the board in your packet from Chief Murray is also endorsed by myself regarding the lieutenant's compensation. And the compensation of the position of lieutenant has had some issues over the last 3 years. The chief and I have been discussing this, and it's a structural issue within the budget and the way it is constructed. As the board is aware, the superior officers that are in the sergeant's union through contract negotiations, those salaries for those positions do move incrementally during each of the contract cycles. The position of police lieutenant, which is a non-union position, during that same time has not kept pace to thus keep the appropriate compensation space between the lieutenant, who's a superior officer, to the sergeants. And what has happened is it's compressed that compensation significantly to the point that, in talking of the position, in moving forward, the Ayer police lieutenant position very shortly will be not only at the same level but surpassed by the sergeant officers. Additionally, when the town embarked on the non-union compensation study, as has been made public consistently since that time, there were some errors and some issues within that report and in that recommendation. And the police lieutenant position was one of those positions. And for the record, at that time, Lieutenant Gill, who was the incumbent holder of the position, was an employee rep of the Personnel Board and has always recused himself from any discussion on this, also did not in any way push this issue forward. However, in discussing with Chief Murray, we're now into the FY19 budget. I think it is incumbent upon the town that the position's salary be adjusted accordingly, not only to reflect the structural deficit that exists, which will create problems for attraction and retention moving forward, but also, and the chief can speak to this in more detail, the responsibilities and functions of the position of police lieutenant just in my 8 years here have significantly evolved. And respectfully, the HRS study, in my professional opinion, and the chief's, did not fully capsulate that consideration. So I believe that the analysis that's put forth in the memo, in the packet that is recommending the correction for this position is not only accurate, I believe that it is fair. I believe that if you look at the comps to other communities and positions, it's right where it needs to be. And I appreciate the board's consideration and support of this recommendation. And with that, through you, Mr. Chairman, I'd let the Chief of Police touch on any points he feels that either I missed or he would like to explain. Lastly, the funding for this is sustainable not only within the current budget, but within the budget model moving forward. Chief.
Thank you. Very well said. There really isn't much I can add to that. I would like to recognize that the lieutenant hasn't, in all of his time, said a word about this. His detriment
Never.
and
We know
to his
that.
credit. So I'm the one bringing this up and pushing this forward. But the biggest problem I have with this is that a top sergeant, top grade sergeant, makes more than a brand new lieutenant. There's absolutely no incentive for a sergeant to want to become a lieutenant when they're going to get paid less, 7% less, which is ridiculous. I mean, it's just the way it happens. We understand this is the way it happened. I think that, as the town administrator said, this is an extremely fair way to deal with this, and combining to bring the lieutenant up to grade 15, and we're just talking about pay here, and to bring Lieutenant Gill himself up to a step.
Step 9 is what you have written here.
Step 9, yes. It might we'll add just a little bit of growth, not much, because but I think that'll bring him to a point where he is right now, which would be fair above the people that he supervises. And this job is, as Robert said, our town administrator said, has evolved over the years. It's more a deputy chief's job than
I
it
was
is a
gonna say that,
lieutenant's
yeah.
job.
Yeah.
We really don't, a small town like us really doesn't need a lieutenant anymore. We need a deputy chief. We need a true second in command. And that's where Lieutenant Gill has, he's really evolved to that point already.
Is this something we should look into? I mean, reclass a deputy chief position?
Absolutely.
And I know, I mean, I talking to Chief King when we were doing the traffic light thing, I know he brought it up about what they've done over there and how it's worked out so well. I think they did it 2 years ago.
And you see all the towns around us.
Yeah.
Broad has done it. Townsend, I believe, did it. You know, it's just, it is the wave of the future. It is the way it probably should have always been.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, we're a small department. It's just, that's just the way it was done then. You know, and I'm not really for keeping things the way they're always done. I like to see.
So you like the new paint color?
progress. What's that?
So you like the new paint?
I love it.
Oh, okay.
This is fantastic. You know, I walked in here and said, what's going on?
Yeah,
What's
beautiful.
different?
Better
Yeah,
than your
beautiful.
office, chief?
No, not as good as my office. A lime green wall, but,
I couldn't agree more. I mean,
I'd completely forgotten about those walls of yours. It's just sad. Really sad.
anybody wants to see my walls, please come down.
Oh.
It's pretty funny.
You know what? I might have some leftover paint. I'll just say it. Oh, God.
no, I'm all for the deputy chief because I mean, myself consider you the deputy chief, really. I mean, you are the second in command and you are involved in everything.
And we are in if I may, we are in those discussions with the town administrator, and at a point where we think it's appropriate, we're going to be bringing it
Okay.
forward to the town.
Good.
And
Right.
Mr. Chairman, just one final point. The analysis to go from grade 13 to grade 15, just to be clear, and I know the board knows this and appreciates this, was not just randomly pulled from a cloud. We took the job description and the new functions that we mentioned earlier, and using the town system is how we ascertained the grade 15, the step taking into account years of service and so forth. And as mentioned in the memo, which was an issue from the minute HRS sent the report on this position, was they did not give any consideration to the internal equity issue, even though myself and the town had consistently said and brought this issue up to them. So just to be clear that a lot of analysis went into this using the town system and the job description.
Okay.
And I couldn't agree with you more, Chris. Brian's always volunteered for stuff and everything else, and you've gone above and beyond. And it's and that's just the base salary of the sergeants.
Yeah, that doesn't include everything else that they get tacked into their salary. That's just the base.
And overtime, which
And overtime, so
the lieutenant doesn't get.
he doesn't get overtime.
Good point.
And, you know, I fought this on the floor the last few years about non-unions not getting a COLA. And this is a result of it. One of the end results is his salary being reduced. With the unions, I have nothing against the unions. I mean, it's a negotiated contract, but there was 2% right along. So it's nice that it's been made up. Is this for the lieutenants' future? Is this going to be a future change too, Robert? As far as anybody, say Lieutenant Gill becomes chief?
Yes, through the chair, if the board approves this, the position of police lieutenant will be at grade 15.
Okay.
The step will follow the town.
Right.
It wouldn't be a step 9.
Right.
And Chief
Okay.
Murray has proposed, and I also do support that if the board is so willing, that this change be made effective upon your approval. In other words, there is funding in the existing FY18 police budget through the personnel lines to cover this at this time.
Okay. Make a motion.
Sure, please.
Make a motion to place Lieutenant Gill in a grade 15, step 9. effective immediately.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you
I really
very much.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Well
everything you
deserved,
do.
Brian.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
Good to see both of you.
Are you
You did say one thing about the next chief. You're
Yeah.
looking at him.
I just said that, I didn't really mean it.
No, yeah.
Mark's here.
Thank you.
He has a lot of fans.
All right, thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, future chief.
Thanks, Brian.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
the DPW superintendent has arrived, and if there is an objection, if we could just take the reserve fund transfer that Mr. Johnston has,
Sure.
and then we'll go to Mr. Wetzel.
Yeah. Come on up, Joe.
Give you a minute.
Hi, Kevin.
Mr. Chairman, how are you?
Good.
In your packets, you should have a memo that I sent to the board requesting a reserve fund transfer for the unemployment compensation expense line in the fiscal 18 budget. The memo briefly outlines where we are with regard to the budget right now, the balance that remains, the invoices that we have, and the known expenses for the balance of the fiscal year. As you may recall, following the regionalization of the schools, the town changed its method of paying for unemployment, going from a contributory unit to a reimbursable unit. So that's a significant budget savings in doing that. The result of being a reimbursable unit is we pay as we go.
Okay.
So we don't pay anything unless we get a claim. And the claims that we've seen year to date were certainly not known when the budget was developed last spring and approved at town meeting. And initially, when we saw the claims at the beginning of the summer, we knew it might be tight, but we thought we'd make it through the year, and recent adjustments to those claims has put us in the position that we're here now. So I'm respectfully asking approval of a $7,500 reserve fund transfer to cover our known expenses, the balance of our liability for these claims for the year, the balance that we'll have to pay to our third-party administrator for the balance of the year, and a little over $1,000 to cover any now unforeseen and unknown expenses. And the hope is that I won't have to come back before you between now and June 30th.
Do you have a copy of the memo? I saw it in the packet,
I
but I
do.
can't find it
I do.
in the packet.
You got it, Karen?
No, I don't have it.
No, I couldn't find it. I can't find it either.
Yeah.
I think it might have been, was it a different attachment? Was it another email?
And they
Should.
no. Okay.
Oh, good.
Gary, there's another.
I remember seeing
Yeah,
it.
no,
It's like,
I think it might have been like sent after.
I
the
think it
packet,
was, yeah, okay.
Probably sent some amendment the other day. I think this is it. No, I mean, I don't think there's any debate. I think we obviously.
Right, just,
Okay.
Make a motion that we transfer $7,500 to unemployment expenses, account number 01913-51710.
40.
517,
Oh, it's 40 in the memo, sorry.
51710.
Seconded?
Apologize. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all. We'll see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin.
Who's driving the Mondo pad today?
That would be me, and that's why it's behind. My apologies.
Let's fix there.
All right, thank you. So your fan club was all up at the Taste of the Show with Gary.
Yeah.
Asking for you.
Yeah, I wish I was up there.
A lot of food.
No offense, but, yeah.
So they had a good turnout. And,
Yeah,
and
okay.
the Ayer Fire Department was working hard, parking cars and helping out. So,
It's always a good time.
anyway.
Yeah, it's nice.
So the first item on the agenda is we have some requests for abatements for sewer. Generally, when we have a freeze up of a leak or some other reason for a water leak, we recommend that you abate the sewer portion of that, since the water's not going down the sewer. And so what happens is when people request an abatement, we go out and make sure that the meter's working properly. In some cases, we test the meter, we review their past water usage, and then based on that, then I make a recommendation on whether we abate the bill. So let me see if I have these in order. So the first one was for New England Hydro Transmission Electric, which is the power station up off of Radisson Road in Selectman Hellman's neck of the woods. And they did have a leak, and so based on the dates of the leak, and their usage is pretty consistent, so it was easy to break that out. So I recommend that the board approves an abatement for the sewer only of $1,387.11.
I don't think they could use that much water, do they?
Well, it takes a little while for a lot of people to find the leak.
Oh.
And it was pretty good. That one was a pretty good leak. They had pictures of it.
No, I mean, they wouldn't be using.
Oh, they
that
wouldn't.
much
No, they wouldn't use. No, they don't use much water at all.
Right.
Quick question, in your memo, you have 2 abatements for them.
Oh, right. One was for the June bill and one was for the September bill. So it's for 2 bills.
So $1,387.11 for the June bill.
Right,
And
and
$1,381.99 for the September bill.
Yes. So what they discovered
That's a big leak.
they discovered the leak at the about halfway through the. I think it started in one quarter and went into the next quarter.
I'd like to make a motion that the Board of Selectmen approve the sewer abatement for any hydroelectric in the amount of $1,387.11 for the June bill and $1,381.99 for the September bill.
Second.
All fair.
Aye.
The next one is for 125 Willard Court, and this is a rental property, and we reviewed it and determined that there was a leak and it was repaired, and so that amount equals $779.85 for the sewer use related to the leak.
I'd like to make a motion that the Board of Selectmen approve the sewer abatement for the 125 Willard Court in the amount of $779.85.
Second.
All fair.
Aye.
We have one for Mr. Robert Collins.
Poking holes through everything?
Well, you know, if you remember, some of it is just happens, but we had a very cold December, and so, for instance, I think
that's right,
this one for the trailer park was they don't have great insulation underneath. Same thing with the one up on Willard. It's there's a lot of crawl spaces under the buildings up there, and they're rental, and people don't really pay attention to what's going on. This one was a mobile home that was vacant for a certain period of time, and so we reviewed their records, and so based on the leak and the past water usage, I'd recommend an abatement for Hillside Mobile Home Park of $3,648.38.
Wow. Hell of a leak.
Councilman Gearing, go ahead.
Yeah, make a motion to approve the sewer abatement. Mark, just sewer, right?
Yeah, just sewer.
For Mr. Robert Collins, P.O. Box 2081 Westfield, in the amount of $3,648.38.
Seconded?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the last one is for, get the address right, 48 Pearl Street. And that was, she wasn't living in the house at the time and discovered a leak, and that equated to $497.19 for abatement of the sewer charge related to the leak.
Make a motion to approve an abatement of the sewer charge in the amount of $497.19 for 48 Pearl Street.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next item has to do with what we just covered. The water rules and regulations state that the Board of Water Commissioners at a posted public meeting will review abatement requests and make a decision based on the contents of these rules and regulations. And just to clean things up and make it a little less cumbersome from our public works point of view, and also to make it a little quicker for the residents, what I'm requesting is that the language be changed so that I can grant or deny the abatement, but then the homeowner can appeal it to the board.
Makes
So,
sense.
so the language that I'm proposing to section 7B abatements, let's see, where was I saying that? The superintendent of public works will review all abatement requests and respond to the customer in writing. The decision will be based on the rules and regulations, field inspections, and historical past usage. The customer has the right to appeal the superintendent's decision to the Board of Selectmen. The appeal must be submitted in writing and will be reviewed at a posted meeting.
I have no problem with it.
No, it makes sense.
I don't know if, can we legally, as water and sewer commissioners, Robert, give authority to somebody else?
Mr. Chair, yes, you can in this sense,
Okay,
because
good.
because, just to be clear, because ultimately the resident's right and the resident's right to appeal still rests with the
With us.
water and sewer commissioners.
I like it.
Yeah, I do too.
And you would always clearly state that, you know, in case you deny that in writing that they have
Right.
the right to appeal to
Yeah.
the Board of Selectmen, it has to be in writing.
Yeah,
So
I-
you would always make sure that those words were in
Yes,
there.
yeah,
Okay.
I state that on every letter.
It would help if we got a copy of that
Yes.
Sure.
when that
Yeah,
happens.
yeah.
Make a motion to approve the wording by the superintendent of the DPW relating to abatements on section B in the water and sewer regulations.
Yes.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then the next change was, we've been, as part of our regular practice, inspecting hydrants. And we have a lot of private hydrants in town, but technically we can't inspect them because they're not town hydrants. The fire department has issues with that because they don't know whether they work or not, and probably a lot of them don't work or haven't been operated in a while, they're not maintained. So we'd like to change in section 10 fire services, in section A, change it to read private fire service pipes and hydrants, which is what I'm adding, may be installed at the customer's expense, including the connection to the water main. And then add a paragraph H, private hydrant service. Fire hydrants on private property and connected to the town water system shall be inspected and serviced once a year by the department for a fee. Any repairs necessary for proper operation of the hydrants shall be the responsibility of the property owner and shall be completed within 30 days after due notice in writing has been given to the owner by the department.
What is a private hydrant? Like a cistern or just like a regular?
No, some places like, shopping center, they have a fire service going in and they might have a hydrant off.
I see. Okay.
Or a condo development.
Makes
Actually, up at the Willows, those are all private hydrants. That's not a town water system.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's a lot of private hydrants in town, and from talking with our guys when they're out inspecting the hydrants and then talking with the fire chief, we're never really sure what condition they're in. Some of them get hit by plows and no one fixes them. And
So there's really no regulation as far as the town has.
right.
Over
We
them?
talk about private water services, but not necessarily specifically the hydrants. And we have in our rates hydrant inspection fees, but we don't have a paragraph that says we can charge them for it.
So could I theoretically fill my pool
Um,
with a hydrant that's on my
no.
property?
No, because
No?
it's not legal use of of the
Well,
water.
beside it being a.
So there's
if
something
I want
that
to
covers.
illegally
yeah.
do it.
Oh,
can I-
you could if you wanted to illegally do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Should have asked that, you did it.
yes. Okay.
That's good to know. I mean, we don't need the fire department plugging into a hydrant that we have no idea that works in a middle of a structure fire or any fire.
I don't know that wording and
Bless
Bless
you.
you.
It's in my memo. I don't know if you want to.
I just assumed you were responsible for all of this.
Exactly.
Oh. I don't have it.
Yeah, it's right there.
It is?
Yeah, on his first memo. Paragraph 2. Section 10, right after the section 7.
I don't know. If
I
you
mean,
got it, go ahead, make a
okay.
motion.
So I make a motion that the Board of Selectmen approve the change to section 10, fire services of the water rules and regulations, as pointed out in the packet and described by the DPW superintendent.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
All right, now for our favorite topic,
Water.
the Grove Pond well number 8, PFAS contamination.
Well, the second favorite topic, the soy is our favorite topic.
One of them.
So, you know, as I have mentioned in the past, that we have this, what they call an unregulated emerging contaminant in well number 8. Well, it's actually in trace amounts in well number 6, 7, and 8, but 8 is the highest, and it's acting as an interceptor well to stop the other, stop the contaminant plume from running to the other wells. The state is, I should say, considering changing the advisory limit. So it's not a regulated requirement, but they have what's called an advisory limit, which, so right now, the EPA advisory limit looks at 2 of the compounds. And with the 2 compounds, and we blend the water, we're under the limit. But the state is looking at totaling the 5, what they call long-chain PFAS compounds. And I'm not going to bother trying to read all the names of each one, but you can.
This is something they will do, though, right?
So yes, it's actually I thought it would have been done by now, but they sent us a letter dated March 1st that basically says. They talk about what I just mentioned, and they say, in the meantime, Mass DEP is encouraging certain actions for public water supplies where available data demonstrates that the finished water is above the 70 part per trillion value for these 5 PFAS compounds. Your test results show the combined PFA concentrations for PFOA, PFOS, PFNA, PFH, XS and PFHPA in your finished water is greater than 70 parts per trillion. And so then they say Mass DEP is encouraging you to take the following actions. One is notify your chief elected official and public health officials, which we've done. Notify your consumers of these results as soon as possible within 30 days, and we're in the process of doing that. I want to talk about that a little bit. Send a copy of your public health notification and consumer notification to your Mass DEP regional office. Report these results in our next annual consumer confidence report, which we did report last year, but we'll report again this year. And contact your Mass DEP regional office to develop and implement a plan to reduce the level of PFAS at the location, specified to a level reliably and consistently below 70 parts per trillion. What we've done now is taken that well out of service. We've reactivated the old well, and we've tested, and we're well below the limit, and then continue monitoring on a quarterly basis. So I have presented options to the Mass DEP. We've taken the well offline. We did a treatability study. We came up with some cost estimates, which I thought were a little high, so I revised some of them down a little bit, and that's in the capital budget. And so we're moving forward with what we need to do to treat that.
It's come down since what you had for capital initially.
Well, initially in the capital budget, I put in a placeholder of $5 million.
Yeah.
After we did the report, since we still weren't positive exactly what we were going to do, I think the consultants had a number of them, like $5.5 million. But they had a lot of contingencies in there, and there were a lot of things, because we're tying in at an existing plant, there were a lot of things in the cost estimate that we won't have to do.
Well,
And yeah, they had 5.7 million, and I think I had 4.2. Is that what I recommended?
yay.
But again, that's a placeholder too, because
No,
we're
I
still not
understand, I
sure
understand.
what. Basically, when you treat for this contaminant, there's two methods of treatment. One is with granular activated carbon, and the other is with these ion exchange resins. And the ion exchange resins are designed specifically for that contaminant. The GAC takes out a whole bunch of other stuff.
Is that basically like a home law? Like a
It's like
Iron-
it's a carbon, yeah, it's a
yeah,
carbon
big
tank.
carbon copy, yeah.
And if you've ever been in our Grove Pond treatment plant, we have 6 big tanks, and this we would add, if we did carbon, we'd add 4, but they'd be twice as tall. If we go with the ion exchange, we'd only have to add 2, and they would be very similar in size. They actually a little smaller. So you could, with the ion exchange, we could build a smaller building with less infrastructure costs associated with that. That's why we're still kind of not sure exactly what we're doing. So the next step is to actually do some testing of our water with these different medias. And I'm working on getting some costs on that. There's some issues with, one of the problems is you're taking out parts per trillion. So it may take a year before you see the media used up, and we can't do testing for a year. So we'll have to rely somewhat on some short-term testing and results of long-term testing. But I'm pretty confident right now that the ion exchange process will work, and it's a less expensive, but we still have to go through the process of testing for it. And in addition, complying with what the DEP wants us to do for testing. And when I talked to them today, they're not really sure what they want us to do.
Oh, sounds familiar. Back to Nasoya again.
So what? Well, and I've been doing water treatment for 30-some years.
Oh no, I was just going to say we
so when
trust
I
what you're
start
saying.
thinking about how we're going to do the testing, it's a little more complicated than what we would normally do if we were doing, for instance, iron and manganese treatment, because that's not a health hazard. We can pump that into the system. This way, we can't pump it in the system, but we still need to run the water through the treatment plant, through the iron
And
plant.
this, to be clear, is not public health.
I would say at this
Yes,
point,
fair
and
enough.
I'm not going to stick my neck out and say it's not for the
Yeah,
general
yeah,
public,
sure.
but there is a sensitive population that needs to be aware of this. And long-term, I think that there is
Any
issues
chemical,
with any chemicals has a long-term impact. And when we say long-term, with the EPA, they're talking 70-year exposure. But if I've seen graphs with infants exposed to these compounds, and it just shoots right up in their blood. It really can be an impact for pregnant women, nursing women, and infants.
It's huge.
So the next step that we have to do is I'm trying to figure out what I need to do for pilot testing. I think I have enough in my water reserve. We have a $30,000 reserve fund if I need to use that to at least get the ball rolling, and then we'll have some money from town meeting vote. But I think I can get a lot of this done in that reserve fund money. But we do have to do public notification. So I drafted this. The state sent me what they wanted to use. I kind of cleaned it up and explained things a little better.
You did a great job.
Yeah, no,
Kind of more layman's
yours.
terms
Yeah,
or something? Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't want to yell fire in the
Right.
theater, but I wanted to say there's a danger of fire, and you might want to carry a fire extinguisher with you. So basically, I didn't really rewrite it. I added some language and I reorganized it so it was a little less of a panic document. I don't know whether, so I sent that to the state and I talked to them about it. I don't know whether they're going to go with my changes or something else, but they're going to get back to me. And then we have to, it's within 30 days, which is the end of the month. So I'm recommending that we send it out probably the middle of next week. And one of the reasons is I'm on vacation next week, and I don't want to send it out this Friday and have people start calling Monday. And
Right.
they go, well, you have to wait a week. That might not be a bad idea.
I was just gonna say. I
So
don't know
you'll
about
send
that.
it and then leave town, so when they call, you won't be there.
Good plan.
So anyway, so that's going to go out to every resident in town. It's going to be probably, I've got, right now, there's two documents we add. One is the public notification, and then there's some fact sheets that the state put out. So it'll probably be a total of 4 pages, 2 pages front and back. And like I said, it'll go out to everybody in town. We'll post it on the website and all the other spots. So let's see, was that? Oh, I had, let's see, actually, it's a date.
Did you have a question?
Yeah, I had a couple of questions. Mark, I appreciate you going into this.
Would you mind just identifying yourself to everybody at home?
Absolutely. Lori Nearing, and I've been working with people residents in my department for a long time now. And I appreciate this thorough investigation you're doing, Mark. This has also been an issue at Devon's. I imagine it's in many, many towns, and it's in the drinking water supply in a couple places at Devon's, including the source that's near Grove Pond. So they're looking at it as well. So Mark, I was wondering, apparently the green sand filtration system doesn't take this out. Is that
Right.
okay? That's
Yeah,
bad.
so what we've done for testing is we've tested each well individually. We've done this, gosh, I can't tell you how many times, but we've done half a dozen samples of each well. And then we test the combined of the 3 wells, raw water, and then the combined finished water. And we see no removal in the finished water. It really needs, there's basically the treatment process is granular carbon adsorption, ion exchange, or membrane filtration. And the membrane filtration is just ridiculously expensive. There's some issues with, there's pros and cons of both. I think the ion exchange can be more effective, but there's other water quality parameters that may affect that. That's why the testing, so, because we are treating the water before we would run it through the ion exchange, so that includes chlorination and permanganate, and that may have some impacts on the residents.
So I guess one of my other questions is, do we know the source of this, and is it going
So-
to be used up at some point? Is it even studying?
Well, the Army Corps is doing studies, the EPA is involved. I think you were at the meeting that when they were talking about it, and they just sent out another draft report that I have not had a chance to read. It was, I'm not kidding, 14,000 pages long.
Oh, yeah.
Reading on
I
vacation.
remember you telling me that.
It was basically, it was like about, I think, 60 of the pages were worth reading.
My computer
there was-
crashed. Yeah.
Yeah, I looked at that twice and I was like, really?
Talk about money in the waters. I mean, it's just, this is.
So the Army Corps knows that, or the Army knows that Devon's has a problem. It was upgrading of our wells. Their well, the McPherson well over on McPherson Road, is also contaminated and needs to be treated. So we've also talked to town council, and we're going to be putting a response together.
Would that be in the form of a lawsuit? Because, I mean, this is, they contaminated it, they're gone. We're in it for $5 million, and we're not even counting the time spent by the guys previous to that, just now, checking the wells, switching the wells, testing the water. Mark reading 4,000 pages
Yep.
of vacation next week.
So, Mr.
We're probably
Mr.
into it for about 50,000 right
Yeah.
now.
So, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, one, the superintendent, among handling this and putting a lot of work into this, is keeping track of all of the cost. He and I have spoke last week at length with town council, and town council has been provided all of the information from Mark, and the town, with town council, will make sure that all of our legal rights are preserved in this matter, and we will be prepared that the town's interests, including the cost of this remediation, are ultimately bore by those who did it. So, without getting into all of the details, per this board, Mark and I have talked at length with town council, will continue to.
So this is something we'll be addressing.
And to answer your question, all legal options that are in the best interest of the town of Ayer remain on the table and will be presented to the Board of Selectmen to make the appropriate decision at the appropriate time.
And this is a new well. Is this one of the new wells?
Yes.
So this is a well that we just paid all this money to put in 3 years ago?
Yep. I also talked to Mass DEP about they have a drinking water fund that generally it's a low-interest loan, a 2% loan. They were kind of out of sync for the application for that, but they have an emergency fund that they said that they would, as we move forward, they would put us on the top of the list. They would fund us out of the emergency fund. And then they said they can extend that. It's a no fee, no interest until you close on the loan. And they said typically they want you to do that within 2 years, but they said with cases like this, if we're pursuing funding from the Army, they could extend that period of time. The state is working really hard with us on trying to come up with a solution. Unfortunately, it's kind of a new case for everybody, so they're not really, when you ask a question, they go, I'll get back to you. So,
Is the state proactively going after the
no.
government? So this is...
No, I mean, they would, I think they were at the
I know,
meeting. I think the EPA sends me emails. They're very interested in what's happening. Because obviously it's a hazardous waste cleanup also. So there's a lot of different parties involved in this. And but right now our most important issue is making sure we're providing safe water.
Sure.
Can I just ask
All right.
one more question?
Sure.
Two separate unrelated things. One is, if you turn off well number 8, does that mean that the PFAS is just going to be pulled into the other wells?
That's a good question. It would, except what we're doing is we're pumping it to waste.
Okay, so you're pulling it in the same way it's been.
So it's still when the other wells run, it turns on and intercepts the contaminants. What we're not sure about is long term whether that's going to affect the yield of the other wells.
Yeah.
Number one, and the other issue, which I'm not too concerned about, but other people have said, well, now you're discharging polluted water to Grove Pond. And I said, well, I think Grove Pond has other problems.
This will probably help it.
And like I said, it's 70 parts per trillion. It's not really too measurable. They probably couldn't measure parts per trillion 5 years ago. And once that starts blending and mixing with other, it's not even noticeable. This chemical is really prevalent in the environment. One of the other issues is the state hasn't tested every water system for this. We did test the spec pond wells, and they had very small trace amounts of it, which I wouldn't have expected because they're kind of in the middle of nowhere also. But I'm thinking, knowing that there's going to be more of this in water supplies, just because it's in a lot of things, and it gets in the air, and it gets in the.
Could the spec pond be affected by the Littleton dump transfer station?
I don't think so. You've got that big pond in between that's got a lot of dilution, and it's a pretty good boundary, and so I really don't know what that would be from. And like I said, it's like 5 parts instead of 7 parts.
Always thinking about yourself.
I have well water, so whatever he tells me it's in the water, it's in the water. I guess I go with it. Lori?
I just wanted to add one more thing that is positive for Ayer, which is, my interpretation, I'll need to verify this, is that our technical assistance grant should be able to be used to help us study this, and we should be able to hire Rich Dougherty, who I think you know, right?
Yep.
To help us understand the reports that this huge report that's coming in, and interpret what impact is on our town wells, and help us in terms of preparing for a lawsuit or whatever we end up having to do. So I'll offer that.
Yeah,
It's our
that's
grants,
good,
we
yeah,
still keep
yeah.
reapplying and we keep getting the
Good.
grant money.
'Cause
Our other work is slowed down a lot.
It's one of those things that, I've done a lot of this type of work related to water supply also, but, if you didn't notice, we had 3 snowstorms in 3 weeks.
Really?
So I do get distracted.
That's why
every
you're
once in
going
a
on
while. It's one of
vacation.
those things that you need to really understand how they do these reports and what you have to look for, so you don't have to read 14,000 pages. And so it's kind of like, well, I was thinking, I just need to lock myself in a room and read this stuff. But if Rich can do it, he can really, yeah.
Do they change parameters on this stuff?
What do you mean?
Occasionally, as far as parts per trillion, does
Oh, yeah.
Well, as I mentioned, the EPA has a health advisory on 70 parts per trillion for 2 of the chemicals. The state is going to say 70 parts per trillion for 5 of them, because they say, well, if 2 of them are bad, then 5 of them must be bad. And that's exactly what their
They're judging on.
their theory is that we know these 2 are bad, and the other ones are very similar, so they must be bad too.
It's better to be conservative in these issues, because we're exposed to so many chemicals all the time, and you don't know what the synergistic impact is.
I'm glad we have an experienced person that knows water. And
Yeah, thank God.
you guys are busy on it too, so it's good. Yeah.
It's just, and that's great, it's just so frustrating that we just went through and updated that whole place and made it,
Yeah.
top notch, and everything's online. And I'm assuming that if you had known this when you upgraded the plant, it might have been cheaper to implement this stuff back then, right? You're not building, you're building bigger, and I'm all for doing whatever we can to go after the Army as soon as possible.
It's not Flint.
And the
Yeah.
National Guard too.
And the National Guard and whoever else, Mass Development.
Good luck.
Those are fire retardant. So
Yeah.
if
Mr. Chairman.
Fires nearby.
They had an area up there where they were practicing with their
That could
firefighting.
be the-
Oh, so we've already, and it wasn't the other
Yeah,
one,
no, it's-
parachute cleaning or
it's-
something like that?
Yeah,
There were some chemicals?
That's
up
over
at
at the airport, but
Yeah.
upgrading off of Barnum Road, it's pretty well documented that there were some activities up there. They were surprised that it was on our side of Barnum Road, because generally the groundwater flows in the other direction, but I have a feeling that they were doing some dumping over on that side too. The rumor was they would dump some excess foam to get rid of it. But you never know too, you start pumping wells and it changes a lot of the hydraulics.
Sure.
So.
So, Mr. Chairman, I think the takeaways for tonight, and Mark has done a spectacular job in being proactive with this issue.
I agree.
I think unless there's objection from the board, we'll proceed with the notification as he is drafted, because I think that his is reworked, which is appropriate for the town. That we'll proceed with issuing that midweek of next week as planned.
Yeah, that's a good
We
idea.
will keep the board updated at the appropriate time when we hear back from council, which this is a priority issue for us on them as far as what we need to do from the legal
You
field.
can probably have some type of update for our next meeting, right? Or at
Yeah.
least-
And then the third thing, which we'll talk about under my report, is the capital request regarding the solution.
Mhm.
Excellent job, Mark.
Thank you,
Mark.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Mark, are all the streetlights in?
I would say about a third of them are.
Third? Okay.
Did you see it?
I can't
On
tell.
Park Street.
Yeah,
This way, right?
So we have, it's kind of cool. I can control them all from my desktop in my
Nice.
office.
So it's like a game?
And so, but because we have what they call the gateway in our building, we had to start at the DPW
Yeah,
and work our
yeah.
way out. And then we've had a couple issues with snow and getting police details, because we need details when we're on the main roads. So we've
2 feet
got
of snow
probably
coming up.
about 2/3 of the hill done. I think we've got almost all of the east end done.
So is
Westford Road and the Rotary, are they done?
No,
Okay.
because they're
I
the
think so.
far, they're the.
I see, I haven't seen
Your
the new ones.
Your neighborhood's gonna be the last one because it's the farthest.
Well, I don't have any
from the
streetlights down our
DPW.
neighborhood anyways, but
So,
I'm sure they'll look good.
And then there's also, we have some that they can't do because they need a different crew because of the high power lines.
Sure.
And then we also have some that are different.
Are they a big
wattages and
difference? I
stuff.
mean,
Oh, yeah.
I haven't done your side, so.
Yeah, well, I'm not even there, but I took a ride down.
It's a different kind of light. It's
Well,
not
yeah.
like a glow. It's
Yeah.
a more moonlight color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's more directed. So
Yes.
So it won't be on people's front porches as much as the high pressure sodium is.
It's definitely your sight is a lot better. Yeah.
And
Well, remember when you changed the lights over here, it's amazing at first.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
And once we have all the controllers in, well, I could start doing it now, but it kind of bogs down the whole operation. We can set up dimming schedules.
Oh.
So what we'll probably do for the majority of the lights in the neighborhood is have them on at 100% from dusk to midnight, and then dim them down at midnight to say 4 a.m. to 50%, and then have them come back up to full
Well, that's a great idea.
We can
50% of probably.
we can
They're
turn
probably as bright as what we have now. Yeah, 50% LED, yeah.
and the ones that we're using, they're 17 watt as opposed to the ones we're replacing were 75. So
It's a huge,
it's a huge
you
huge.
do it in your
saving.
house, you see a huge.
Right now, we
difference.
won't
Yeah.
see any cost savings by dimming, but that's coming.
Mhm.
So what I can do is I can track each light, how much electricity it's been using, and that's what Grid will bill us off of sometime in the future when we get to that point. But it's pretty cool technology.
It is.
And so we were out, we have a little handheld I can go out
Oh, jeez.
and turn lights on and off, and stuff like that, so.
All of a sudden, we'll be all sitting in the dark going,
Yeah.
you annoyed Mark.
Do we have anything on the website as far as if there's a light out?
We do have something on the website, but we haven't been doing them because I knew we were gonna be paying to replace all the bulbs. So I
Okay.
haven't been doing, because I noticed a couple that were, like on Washington Street tonight driving down, I noticed one that in front of the school that was out.
Are they still, I mean, I'm assuming the snow must be killing you. 2 feet of snow last week didn't help.
Yeah, they only worked,
And the cold has been,
I think they only worked 2 days last week, 2 days the week before. They're not working tomorrow, which I told them, I said, it's not gonna snow till late in the day. It's killing us everywhere.
in April, just to be safe probably.
They look good though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I know, I've seen them in other
It's-
communities. The only reason I asked was when I went out on Saturday night, every light was on. And I kept trying to look up to tell if they were LED. but I
You can
couldn't
tell the difference.
Yeah,
Because
I
the other
usually
ones are
can,
more
yeah.
like a glow.
Yeah.
And these are like a flat. It's
Oh,
it's
okay,
still
they're real
overhead,
sleek
but
looking
it's-
with the
And you can see the
dots
LED
almost,
lights
yeah,
in it.
okay.
And then we're also gonna look at putting controllers in on the lights out here, so we can turn those down.
Can we at some point look at
Matching
moving
them?
some?
We can, I have not looked
Okay.
at that yet, but.
I mean, you look down Central Ave, right, there's a section that's.
Oh, you're talking about this, yeah, we talked about this
We
with,
wanted to add some lights.
And there's
I
nothing on
have,
Littleton
so I.
Road, there's nothing.
Yeah.
would that be ours too, Littleton Road? Because Gary's right, there's
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
from right after.
Yeah, typically, a lot of the, what I call
So
the rural roads that don't have a lot of houses on them don't have streetlights.
Right.
But now you're starting to get houses along there. and-
Well, you like to see them at the intersections maybe.
And the other thing that I've got to work with our planning board on is they typically haven't been requiring streetlights in some of these new neighborhoods.
I don't understand that.
Right, and that would, exactly.
There's, in all of Pingree Hill, there's 3 proposed, there's only 1 is installed.
I did see some going up under Willows, it looked like some post lights or something, I don't know if that's.
Yeah, they do have their own up there.
Yeah, but Gary's got a good point, you got 150 on Central
Yeah.
Ave. You got one at Westford, the corner of Westford Road, and then you don't have another one until you get to Nemco.
Yeah, I've got a
Yeah.
map, we've got them all mapped that shows what the coverage is, and so we can, at some point when we get everything done, we
Yeah.
can take a look and
We
see.
have some
where-
time.
Yeah, I don't have too much else going on.
No.
Okay, good.
Well, enjoy.
And our building foundation, they started that today, so.
Oh, good, great.
So if anyone wants an exciting day, April 9th, they're putting the building in
Right,
place.
good.
It's pretty cool, actually, to watch, it's fast.
Take next week off.
Enjoy your vacation.
Thanks, Mark.
What do you got now?
Alan?
I wish I understood all that.
Basically, the Army's hosed us.
Yeah, no, I know.
Where,
The Army does it,
Where,
where they go, whenever a base leaves,
we gotta pay
the
for it.
towns get screwed.
yeah.
Still dealing with that.
And the DOT
Yeah.
will tell you, oh, well,
I mean, in
Robert,
all,
I'm sorry, real quick. Has there been a replacement for Thatcher? Has he left yet?
No, his last day, he leaves on March 30th, and they will
George
have
Ramirez.
to do a search process. So
That's too bad. I liked him.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
he worked well with
I
us.
know, that was a surprise.
Yeah.
yeah,
Hi, Alan.
Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, yes?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. Through you, Mr. Chairman, first, we just have two subordination agreements, and Alicia wanted me to express she's sorry she couldn't be here this evening. She's feeling a little under the weather, as I was yesterday, so there's something working around between she and I. The first one is for the property located at 98 West Main Street, and
excuse me.
Gesundheit.
the current appraised value of the property is $230,000, and again, what these are about, they're just looking for us to be in a third position subordination here. So the current the appraised value of that property at 98 West Main Street is $230,000. Our current lien, and where would be in a third position, is now a balance of $7,185, and the term of our loan with them ends in September of 2019, a year from now. So what we're getting at, and again, the reason they're requesting us to be put in a third
Refinance,
position.
right?
I'm sorry?
Just a refinance, right? So they
Yes,
want-
it's a refinance.
We still
and-
get paid. I mean,
Absolutely. So I'm sorry for being a little long here, but we just
No,
will
no,
need
fine.
requesting your signature, Mr. Chairman, because with the first mortgage, second mortgage, and our outstanding lien, they're going to be at about 70% loan to value, and when we exceed 65%, we have to have a sign-off from our Board of Selectmen. But I will say, in my past life as a commercial lending officer, the fact that we're down now to 7,185, we have an assessed value, I would, as I used to say to my loan committee, I believe this is a manageable risk for us over the course of the next year. And we think it's a good refinance. So we would just request, respectively, your approval and sign off on that subordination agreement for the property, again, located at 98 West Main Street.
okay.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to forward to OK lien subordination request, case number 03-243, 98 West Main Street, subordination of the town's lien conditioned upon a new mortgage not to exceed $60,000.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And, Robert, I do have this document for his signature. Okay. Thank you. And,
What's the
I believe it was 12 Jackson Street,
Okay.
and this one does not require us. Thank you. And the second item, again, is subordination. I request, this is for property located at 12 Jackson Street. On this property, we'll have now a appraised property value of $260,000. Again, they're requesting a subordination. Our outstanding loan with this property is a total of $8,593. They want to do a refinance. The new refinance would be a total of $80,000, and this would put this property at a 34% loan-to-value ratio. That's well below the threshold of 65%. No signature sign-off necessary, but again, we ask for your vote on
Was,
this.
says a note saying does not need BOS vote, just signature by chair.
Right, and I think Alicia did this up, and I think she might have.
Okay, because it's not, we don't have.
Yeah, we don't have
it.
So
Right.
she's got a note here at this time, I'm
Right.
approving this subordination request
And
that
it's-
the chairman sign the attached document.
So this is more of an administrative
Yeah.
thing, but we
Yeah.
just wanted to just make sure that you folks are aware of this as well. But both of them, again, are in very good positions, and
Yeah.
it's good. We think the program greatly benefited them, and they're at a point where they're refinancing, and property values are strong. So this is how this program should work.
Okay.
Very good, thank you.
I'll get them notarized and
Yes,
get them to you.
thank you. Okay, and then the next item is the 1934 historic Ayer Fire Station redevelopment. So we reissued the RFP, and we thank the Board of Selectmen for your consideration, your support over the course of the year with the multiple releases of this RFP that you continually gave us the opportunity to come through with this. So the last RFP, we received 6 proposals were submitted. Our internal scoring group was put together, and that scoring group included Town Assessor Tom Hogan, Planning Board Member Ken Diskin, our Town Planner Mark Archambault, and myself as the Director of the Ayer Office of Community and Economic Development. In the RFP that we issued, we were looking for both a monetary offer for the property, and there was a scoring criteria. In the RFP, there were 10 items of scoring criteria. So the result, ultimately the selection will be based on the combination, of all those. So we got in, again, 6 proposals ranging from, monetary offers ranging from $10,000 up to $100,000. Quite a range. When the scoring committee, when we went through and did the actual scoring based on the 10 criteria of the project, 2 proposals scored quite high. Those 2 proposals, the first one was a proposal submitted by C. Moore of Ayer with a total score of 160 points. And the next highest ranking proposal was submitted from Weathersfield LLC, a company out of Chelsea, Massachusetts, and their total score was 149. The next highest score was a proposal submitted by Sullivan Olahar, and that ranked at 131. The 2 highest proposals I just cited, the other, I think,
I just want to add something. I submitted a bid for this
yes.
for public knowledge because I said I was going to submit a bid because I didn't know anybody was going to bid. I have no desire to be dealing with this property, so I'm not going to recuse myself from this. I just wanted to say that. I'm nothing that I express here has anything to do with me or anything like that, so I don't feel the need to recuse myself for it.
You're withdrawing your...
Yeah, no, I didn't even think it was under consideration tonight, nor have I.
Well, no, but it's in the packet, so you're officially withdrawing.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, he's withdrawn.
Okay. So I think the point here where, the scoring group did, and by the way, the scores that we came up with, those totals were based only on the 10 scoring criteria. That's how those scores came up. So now the issue, the final selection is combining those scores based on the 10 criteria, the quality of the redevelopment, and the monetary offer. And the one notable thing here, of course, is between the 2. There's a rather significant differential. Between $50,000 is the monetary offer from Seymour. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say Seymour, like I'm saying Seymour, Calvin Moore, or the Moore proposal, and a $100,000 offer from Weathersfield. So there's a 100% differential, a $50,000 differential there. So the scoring group ultimately submitted a recommendation based on, again, the 10 criteria score, and the scoring group as a whole are recommending the proposal submitted by Calvin Moore for the property. That, again, though, is based on this scoring criteria, and we know...
What is the scoring criteria? Because I see someone that wanted to make it their house for $10,000. It's got a pretty high score.
It's like 2 pages down.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Just... There's just some things in this that just didn't make
And I
sense.
Well,
think
yeah,
that-
because
yeah.
one part of the scoring criteria wasn't necessarily the
Yeah,
money,
no,
it
I
was what you were
understand.
gonna do.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
that
I
threw me
mean,
too,
trust me,
until I
all
read the
these proposals.
criteria.
They're all
Yeah.
pretty much the same.
And for you, I believe, Mr. Chairman, the Sullivan Olaha one ranked very high, even though it was a low offer, which shows that we were really focused on those criteria. It was the quality of the development of what they were proposing to do with it, really a very thorough restoration of the original building,
Was that
removing the
like the
bays.
Boys and Girl Club one?
No, that one,
No,
these are the
it's
folks that
home.
want to make this their home, their
Oh,
private
okay.
residential home, which was really, quite intriguing
Yeah.
in terms of the quality. So, we are here tonight, again, the group submitted as recommending the Calvin Moore proposal, but we know there's a significant, again, differential there, and therefore, we need your wisdom, guidance, and your ultimate decision.
I don't know about wisdom.
I have a hard time walking away from $50,000, I will say that.
I read both the proposals, and there is, yes, if you're just gonna look at the monetary, then yes, you would go with the Weatherson or whatever it was.
There's field, yes.
But their proposal had no meat to it whatsoever. I mean, it was just kind of like, well, we'd like to do this, and we're gonna hire this, and, but we're not really sure what we can do. I mean, so there's a lot of concerns to that one. There was no substance to it.
I just, unrelated to whoever bid, it's hard to go in and say what you're exactly. I put mine together 30 minutes before it was due, so seriously, I didn't make any drawings, I didn't do anything. I said, this is what I wanted to do, restore the outside of the building. No one bid on it, great. You can say a lot, but it doesn't mean you have to follow through with it. Like, it's hard to say I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. That building's somewhat overwhelming when you get in there in terms of what you can do with it, what you want to tear down, what you want to keep.
Right.
You could do this, you could do that, so. Like, I would, and I think everybody will, hire an architect once you do obtain it. It's hard to just, draw something. I mean, I know, Calvin, you drew some things out in the sketch with some ideas. I'm sure that'll change. I mean, just based on, once you get in there, or whoever gets in there. I guess is what I'm saying. So.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but the last two did have a little more meat in their proposals that we had awarded, and unfortunately, they kept going kibosh.
Yeah, I didn't vote on those.
And he doesn't really have like a letter saying, "Yep, you got the money." He has a letter saying, "Hey, come fill out the application and forward me a copy of the P&S."
Am I allowed to speak?
We'll see what you have to say.
Well, I guess if you look at the page one building, you look at the Spalding building, and if you look at, I call it Singing Sam's building, they were all three were in very, very tough shape. I did what I said I was going to do, and I did it. And there was a lot of money poured into both of those buildings, and with all due respect to my mother, I think she really saved that building by telling me to do it. And I did it, and that is the main anchor for Main Street Ave. Those, well, not so much Singing Sam's building, but the small.
What's Sig and Sam's? I'm sorry.
It's what Century Carpet is. He
Oh,
uses-
okay.
Sells sewing machines in there.
Oh, okay.
So that's how his name came. And that's going back to.
I thought that was the old shoe store.
No, there was one down.
Oh, there was one down.
So, and I'm looking at the project on tying all that parking lot together to rebuilding the sidewalk on Washington Street, which you don't have now, to getting the parking off of Washington Street that you have now, and tying that into my lot. So that's going to absolutely enhance Washington Street going up.
I have a question about that, and I agree with you. However, I mean, it's not that easy. You know that. I mean, you have to do some type of. Ken, you're on the planning board. I mean,
I'm going to ask the comment.
Okay. No, I was just asking a question in terms of tying in, just taking the entrance and putting in your parking lot, because they're two separate parcels in the whole. You'd have to subdivide or have easements or something like that if you ever sold your building.
It's left pocket, right pocket. Yeah.
So the entrance
Still
to it.
me.
Yeah, but if it's not you, like let's say you decide to sell your building.
Ain't gonna happen.
Well,
But if you were,
okay.
if you did,
I mean, I'm just saying, when I had a parcel in Westford where I owned 2 pieces of property, I had to file an easement for a fill easement, even though I owned both properties. So when I did sell it, the easement was there. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not doable. I'm just saying, do you understand what I'm saying? Mark, you're shaking your head. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You write it into the deeds.
So it's got to be into the deed, and that's important, obviously. It's not just, yeah, I can park here. I know what you're saying. I'm just trying to make it clear that it's not just a matter of...
I'm ready to hit the ground running as soon as snow breaks. And I'm gonna tie all that in, and you guys are gonna, I asked the town, what does the town want? And it was basically told to me by multiple people in town hall, they want the old fire station back. For a historical building in blah, 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 and that's what I'm intending to do. I'd rather be an anchor guy in the town of Ayer versus an absentee landlord like the Devon Shopping Center that doesn't care about the town.
Well, why don't you buy that too?
Just like he's suing. One at a time.
No more storage units, though. No more storage units.
We don't say.
One block at a time.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, through you to Mr. Moore, just 2 questions. One, when you say you're ready to hit the ground running, are you in a position to close on this property within 90 days?
I can close in 2 days as soon as you give me the deed.
I knew it. I knew he was going to say that.
Because why I asked that question is the Board of Selectmen, before we went through this process, had authorized me to make sure that this closes, because there's been issues in the past with closing.
That was mine, as quick as humanly possible. Yeah.
I think that
tomorrow.
Wish I knew before I put
the second question is, the point is if you were to move forward on this and your pledge to close on this and so forth, is that contingent upon other things from the town? Because unfortunately, and I think as you know, as a result of the last applicant, when there was a considerable grant on the table, that opportunity has unfortunately been lost. And as we sit here right now, of course, the town always tries to work with developers on what we can do, but here on March 20th, there's not a grant of that magnitude and so forth. There may be other options, but so is closing and hitting the ground running contingent upon other things from the town?
No, but it'd be nice.
No, but it would be nice.
No, but I'm ready to go.
I guess the question is...
So you're saying as is?
I want the 21E certificate that you guys did.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
No, I guess the question is, I always appreciate, because you do ask, and you do tell us, and we don't, sometimes we listen, sometimes we don't. Because I know you're going to ask for the moon, which I completely respect and would do the same. When we say no, I guess is the question, if we say no, you're ready to, you want this project regardless.
Yes.
I guess there's a roundabout way. Lisa?
He would have available to him the CPC money that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, and absolutely, yeah. I think everybody that probably applied, I think I even put that in my proposal.
Yeah, but it has,
Yeah, it was specific
It was.
to the community.
Yes, that's been withdrawn.
The vote was not specific.
No, but what was approved at town meeting for the previous applicant would have to be resubmitted at town meeting.
right, we covered that in a public meeting.
Correct.
And it may be, yes,
What's very important too is on the last person that was getting it was putting in 9 units. 9 cars would have been in my parking lot. I would have been fighting their parking and their guest parking forever and ever and ever.
I proposed 4 and I got 102.
And I feel if I can control that fire station, I can get the parking into my parking lot and I can tell those tenants where they're going to park. And it'd just be a nightmare if I didn't have that fire station because of the cars alone. So yes, I'm ready to hit the ground running. I'm ready to get it cleaned up. I'm ready to go. And I can close tonight if you want.
So if we had the P&S right here, right now, you'd sign it.
Just give me a deed. I'll give you the check.
And then when the lawyers went to go file all the paperwork and everything, you're just gonna go let them do the job, and then they're gonna come back and say, okay, we're closing, and you would sign it.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not worried about that. I think, I
No,
don't
I know,
know
but-
about the other ones. I know, Colin, you put, you were gonna fund privately, whatever. I think most people put, I mean, the Weathersfield didn't, but I know.
They did actually on their
wouldn't-
thing, because
Okay.
we asked them to close, and they said they would like to close.
No, but I meant like a pre-approval letter, I mean, submitted with the packet and stuff. I mean, obviously, because we ran into that issue
Yeah, no, I see.
previous.
And I'll say, I think
No,
and what the group, why they arrived at this, knowing there was a sizable differential in monetary thing, the fact is, The concern with all the proposed, the parking is obviously a very difficult issue. And with all the other proposals, the way the parking would have been handled, you would have had the building literally surrounded by cars. And this is not good. We don't do this in downtowns. That's where you see the suburban thing. And it was the one thing that really, I know a lot of other prospectively interested developers, this was the thing that ended up turning them off and saying, I'm not going to go forward with this. I cannot figure out what I'm going to do with the parking here. I can't manage this. And I will say Mr. Moore's proposal, the reason I think it scored, well, I know myself, it scored strongly, what he's proposing, and he's really the only one that can do it because he does in fact own the property significantly all around this. He is proposing to demolish, the bays, which really ruined the whole.
Both sides count?
Integrity.
Yes.
Potentially, the first. And the fact now that because he has his parking lot for the Page Moore Block and others, the cars will not be lined up in front of this beautiful building. It'll be set off to the side or integrated into a surface lot. So the building, so now you've removed the bays, which by the way, then if all that goes well, we can get it on the National Register as per Mass Historic, which then the building would qualify for both state and federal historic tax credits. And that's huge.
However, though, does that put a restriction on,
I'm sorry?
does that put a restriction on the owner on what he can do?
No.
Well, yes, it does.
Just be careful with that comment.
No, I did it on the Page One building.
Yeah.
I have to replace the windows, and I have to keep them that way, I believe, for 3 years, and after that I can...
No, all right, it's not like here where we can't replace
Right, the
windows.
materials
Yeah,
that
all
you
right.
use, if you get the preservation, they have to be consistent with U.S. Department of Interior.
Oh, yeah, no,
rights,
I
and all
understand.
the
I was just saying that.
materials. Yes,
That sounds
absolutely.
great, but sometimes they put these little
Oh, yeah.
bits in there where they really tie you down.
Yep, no such thing as a free lunch, right. But, so the point is with all the other proposals, all the other development concepts, you would have had, again, these cars parked around the whole front of this building, everything. So this ranked high the fact that what Mr. Moore is proposing is to bring it back to its original architectural, historic integrity, which is amazing unto itself, and then being able to reconstruct
main
the
building is
park-
nice.
right, and the whole thing. And this is just
Could be
going to,
nice.
frankly, it'll make it what would have been a good redevelopment and a noteworthy, commendable thing. This will make it a gem for the downtown. It'll be very high value, and it will set a high standard, frankly, for what comes after it in terms of redevelopment and preservation and otherwise. This is why I think the committee scored it a little bit higher than the Weathersfield proposal and the others.
How many units is it? Proposed?
Mr. Moore's proposing between 4 and 8, I believe you proposed in your proposal. And the same with Weathersfield, they were all falling, they were going a little, they were talking about 6 to 8 or maybe 9.
Or anybody have reduced rents or reduced
Low moderate income?
lower income?
Also, in Mr. Poor's proposal, he was very clear in saying that he is absolutely willing to have a certain percentage of these designated as low to moderate income. We were concerned about that. The Weathersfield proposal, we did discuss that with them up front. When we got their proposal, they referenced doing residential units, but they didn't qualify it as we would do affordable low moderate.
Yeah,
And that I know
I'll be
also,
honest.
affect the members of the group said, why didn't, they said, I don't know if that was an oversight or not, but fair is fair, that's the proposal they
Yeah, no,
submitted. So it seemed
I did it too.
unclear.
I wasn't interested.
And it was right in the RFP. We're going to score high for folks that will have a certain percentage because we need that for our 10% count in the town. So we continue to get good, big grants.
No, we understand that,
pursue this.
but I guess what is, and this goes for anybody, what, we close, everything's great. I have no questions on the quality and all that. I'm just saying, does the town hold it, is it not a deed restriction, but do we hold Mr. Moore to it, like, is it part of the?
We would work it into the purchase and sales
Okay,
agreement.
I guess that's what I'm asking. I mean, just
Right.
just basically what you said. I mean, obviously things get tweaked and.
Yes. And Mr. Moore has expressed interest in pursuing, we just finished up, Alicia and I go pursuing a large $700,000 CDBG grant for Prospect and Oak Street, so that's our project for that. You can only be awarded $1.3 million of CDBG funds over a 2-year period.
Mhm.
So we went for $700,000 on that. So we hope we'd be in a position, if Mr. Moore did go forward and say, yes, I will designate, I would do, maybe a couple of these units, then we can go after another CDBG grant in the fall and max that out at least $500,000 towards this project. And we can only do that if he does in fact say, the person says, yes, I would be willing, if all this comes to do a certain percentage of low and moderate income. The really cool thing about that is if you redevelop a project like this, if you just designate 25% of the units, so let's say he did 4 units, said, I'll do 1 as low moderate income, the state will count all 4 of the units as the building towards our number of low moderate income. So that's,
Yeah, no, I
That's good
researched that.
stuff.
Do one. And obviously there'd be no tearing it down or anything like that. I'm not asking these questions as you, Calvin. I'm just asking them as a blank, whoever got the building.
if Mr. Moore did that, not only would his mother haunt him for eternity, I will haunt him for eternity after I die.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so tough to walk away from $50,000.
Yeah,
That's why we're asking these questions.
Yes.
You know,
That's what made it
Calvin,
tough on the.
we know your body of work, you know what you've done. And the buildings that you've worked on are historic.
Just don't come yelling at us at tax time, because that's tax money. We'd walk
Well,
away
he's
from.
probably gonna ask for a TIF. You're gonna ask for a TIF at some point?
Don't give him ideas.
It
It will come back.
Listen, it isn't, trust me, he knows it all.
If I may answer that, is that I know how some people on the board feel about the TIFs issue. Would I like to apply for a 3-year or 4-year TIF after it's all done, because I brought all these jobs in, all these tradespeople in, to help on that, which is a TIF is designed to do? Possibly, yes.
Yeah, a lot of it, people have different views of that. Some people look at the permanent jobs that are brought in because of a TIF, like on Nemco, L3. But anyway, try to sell me on the fact that $50,000 that we're not gonna get.
I guess I would have to answer that this way. Is that we've been in town for 5 generations. We haven't walked away from a piece of property and left it like the Devon Shopping Center. We are an absentee landlord. We are a fabric in town. I'm telling you, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do it. There's more projects in this town that I'm gonna be wanting. And if I burn a bridge now, it's a different fight down the road. I think I have a proven record on what I've done with the Spalding building, with the Pagemore building.
Yes, you do.
I think I have a proven record of the amount of money that I've put into those places, but I'll never see a return on it. Maybe my grandchildren will. But we're a fabric in town. We are part of Main Street. And I think I got a proven record that's gonna prove it. You're gonna deal with a family that's been here, not a guy that's from Chelsea that you really have no experience with. And I think I'd rather dance with the devil I know than not the devil that I don't.
Well, that's one of the only things, I mean, I've looked at the guy from Chelsea,
Yeah.
and I can't find too much information on him.
No, I did the same thing. I did the same
So
thing.
that kind of scares me, all right?
Yeah, it's the 50,000. It's nothing
Yeah.
to do with you, Calvin. I mean, it's.
Mr. Chairman, I guess I'd have to shoot from the hip on this one, saying, I'm giving the town what they asked for. That's gonna cost a lot of money to put that building back to where it should be.
Well, I agree.
That's a little chump change.
Trust me, I went through it. I ran the numbers.
And I think
understand.
if you have a building, that's producing
Yes, I'm
income
sorry.
tax real estate tax property, I'm not saying the right word, real estate
Yeah.
tax,
Yeah.
okay? On a nice finished product. Look at the $43,000 I'm spending on the Pagemore building. That ain't no chump change for the town. So I think it's a short-term inconvenience for the town with a long-term gain, because it's part of revitalizing downtown air. And I got some huge cash that's gotta go into this building.
Okay. I agree with it about the extra $50,000. However, and here, and I'm actually going to be paying you a compliment, okay? So
Excuse me.
don't attack.
He's not
All
attacking.
right,
This is-
which
this is his
that's
normal
probably the
stuff. He's
nicest.
not attacking
That's the
at all.
nicest smile you've ever given me.
I like the attack.
It is
Yeah.
because
I know.
of your arrogance that I feel extremely confident that this is going to go well. Because of the fact of
He's
his
always been
long
arrogant.
history in this town,
His
okay,
arrogance.
and his arrogance. It's the arrogance
There's nothing wrong with being there.
that is that's going to make this a success. Because quite honestly, if he goes to screw up, the whole town goes after him, and his whole reputation and everything goes down the road.
I think you're overplaying that. I think a lot of people could give a damn.
Because, well, let's be honest.
I mean, seriously,
This,
I'm
this,
just saying.
this proposal, though it had everything in it as to what you're going to do, I honestly felt like you were hitting me over the head with a sledgehammer, and all I could think of is, what did I do to Calvin Moore? Because I don't think I've done anything. So it was a little rude. So let's get that out there.
I really didn't know what paragraph that would have been in.
It would have been the whole thing.
The highlighted lifelong Ayer resident next to your name.
The
was
pilot, I mean,
You hear the music in the background.
When I first saw the thing, I said, "How are we walking away from $50,000?" Honestly, and I like you a lot. You know that. And then I did read the other thing, like you said again last night, and it was, well, you read it, Robert. It was vague. I mean, it showed what type of equipment they owned.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm being serious. Like,
I couldn't get
do you know
a-
this company, Alan? Is this someone
a
that you just
good
reached out
feeling
to? Or?
about it.
No.
You know?
Actually, and, yeah, I suppose when they, when I got the call, and I got many calls, we put it on the central register, and I'd ask, oh, you gentlemen from Chelsea? Yeah. I said, oh, have you, they said, it was their first time out here. They'd never been here, but again, it's out there. And this, by the way, shows that Ayer is on the radar screen now of Metro Boston developers. And this is what happened. So they said, no, this is our first time town. We like it. There's great potential here. And I'll just say this about that and I'm from a city where a lot of what happened in downtown Lowell was done by Lowell families and Lowell money, and that's why it happened in the early years, frankly. But I also remember in Lowell, great old guy, now the late, but an interesting gentleman named of Louis Saab. Interesting guy. He owned half of downtown Lowell, every building in the downtown at one point in the 90s. And some folks might say that's a good thing, but sometimes it's not a good and healthy thing for your local economy for just one or two families to own the entire
Well, it depends
downtown.
on which side of the street you're talking about.
That's
down
what I
there,
mean here.
downtown.
And I'm not trying to be smart, but this is the
Heading towards
reality.
Shirley, the right side's fantastic. The left side's awful.
Okay, so, and we know it's good when things are good with that family, and when things don't go good. And I'm speaking in Lowell, this happened, okay? You say, my good, it's just the same as, it's having all your eggs in one basket. It's great when it's great, and when it doesn't, it's like, oh my God, what options do we have now? And everything can just stop and come to a dead halt for years.
Yep.
I thought it was a sign of good economic strength for Ayer that we had people from Chelsea coming out here and looking, because that's how word gets out in places. And it's good and healthy for Ayer to start attracting good new property owners who aren't necessarily from Ayer as well.
Yeah.
And that's good for the locals who realize, oh, there is some competition
Listen, we
here
don't
now.
need to talk
Boy,
about
maybe
that.
it's
Ayer is, listen, Ayer is about as hot as you can get right now.
It
for
is.
Home builders or home
It is
buyers
residential.
or-
It's, thank you.
I mean, you name it, this is where people are coming because of
Yeah.
cost of
Marijuana.
living.
It's been
Oh, you
discovered.
can go anywhere for that.
So that's, but all in all, again, you look at it, and we
3%.
really felt that, and what we get back to is, who will treat the building so that the product ends up being not available just for the building, but for the downtown as a whole.
Well, I don't know.
And this thing is worthy of being a gem.
You
And,
withdrew.
Can we hear from Mr. Disco?
I'm sorry, Ken, did you, yes, please.
I wanted to follow up a little bit on the fact that Alan developed a scoring system. I wasn't sure if we covered the preciseness of that scoring system and how we reached the scores. But I can tell you, I was called by Alan to volunteer to serve on the group that scored the proposals. And I was a little bit unsure, coming down, what I was going to expect. But I can tell you that without question that my contribution to the scoring is most likely a portion of why Mr. Moore got the highest score. Because after reading the proposals and my experience in construction, I certainly felt that his proposal was superior to any other proposal. Now, remember, bear in mind, we were scoring without the money part being involved. So the two sections, we were only involved for looking at the proposals and using the system that he told us, which required us to score different components based only on what we saw on paper. It had nothing to do with the price. So I wanted to clarify that, in my opinion, there's no question that Mr. Moore's proposal got the highest score because it showed the most in the proposal. And as a result of that, and I'll also concur with the fact that I don't, $50,000 difference in this project to me is an insignificant amount. You know,
But
talking
how
about a
many years it's been?
$700,000 to $1 million project, whatever the number might come out to, $50,000 in that particular total number is a small number. And I felt that because he came right out of the door, or off the bat, and said he's gonna take both sides down, he's gonna get the building watertight, those things were not mentioned by other people. There was no sketch, they never came up with a way to approach it right away and get started. So I definitely felt his proposal had deserved the highest score. And for that reason, as a citizen, I would have no problem with the difference in the $50,000.
Thank you.
What about, I mean, I think.
You can have the top floor, Ken.
What about, in terms of there's no issues with separating the parking, like that was planning board stuff that can be down the line?
Yes.
And
I mean,
legality-wise, it would just be an easement or something like that, I'm assuming.
It'd be subject to site plan review.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
That's good. It'll be a good process, actually.
No, I'm just asking, there's nothing prohibiting it in bylaws or anything like that? It's not a common driveway or anything? I know we just went through that.
No. As Mr. Minoyan said, it will have to go to site plan review.
But I'm assuming it would just be an easement. An easement owned by you, obviously, but for the residents to park. Use your lot. Now, is that going to diminish your parking, though?
No.
No? You have enough space? Okay.
Yeah, I got most of my answers. I mean, I came in saying, no, I'm not gonna lose the 50,000. Yeah, but knowing Calvin the way he does things as far as buildings are concerned, I mean, you do a good job. As far as I know, they should last, right? But, Page, Moore, Block, and Spalding, very good. So I wouldn't have a problem with going with Calvin. And after Mr. Diskin said, I'm even more positive on it. I mean, they judge just by what the proposal was, right?
The quality of the development.
And not how much.
Well, having a little insight of this, I mean, obviously Calvin is something no one else can offer, and I agree, using the parking. But I mean, for the most part, they're all units restoring the outside of the building. I disagree with that a little bit because I didn't read all of them, honestly.
Yeah.
I just read.
Disagree with what?
Disagree with the fact that it was head and shoulders above.
Oh, no,
No, I'm just saying about the scoring system. I agree. Calvin has something that no one else can offer. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, but we can all say, and tearing down the additions is a big deal. It's hard to say until you're in there.
Yeah.
I mean, so when you're asked that, I mean, you walk it once. I mean, I've been it once in my life. It's hard to go in there and say, I'm going to drop a plan in 10 minutes.
Right.
So,
obviously, to him and his position, it's worth more to him being where his location is for his other.
Yeah.
But I kind of switched my thinking on this. So.
Can we just unload the thing, though? I mean,
That's what we're trying to do.
No. But I mean, honestly, just not own it within a few weeks or whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
If we do.
I live right up the street. Could you deliver the balloons?
Yeah. But I mean, I don't mean that disrespectfully. I'm just saying,
Yes, this is what.
You're ready to go. I mean, you know what you want to do.
It's been a part of my life very intimately now for
I
the
just
last 2 years.
I really want to.
I know you
I
do.
really don't want to own it anymore. I mean, do whatever we need to do and review with the purchase and sales in terms of whatever we need to put in it for the saving of the building.
And again, as Robert said, this was something that was articulated to each and every proposer before they proposed.
If you recall, it was my idea. I said we can close in 30 days. Let's close in 30 days. Everybody said
So
probably 6
each of the
weeks.
proposers knew going in exactly this.
Well, then on that note, we'll never get it closed if we don't award, so I'd like to make a motion that the Board of Selectmen award the proposal, the sale of the Ayer Historical Fire Station to Mr. Calvin Moore.
Second discussion. Like I said, going into this, I looked at the top proposal of 100,000. I did some background on it. I haven't really found
You
anything.
can't find anything on them. I did the same exact thing.
And it's better the devil you know. I don't mean that in a bad way.
I think you guys
Calvin.
said that when you got, I wasn't here for the Conrad one, but.
I guess
I would've
arrogant.
Exactly.
I would have talked you out of that one.
No, I know, but he's got a track record, and I'm not too concerned about it. So
So that was a second?
Second.
Yeah.
And we put in something in the thing that you can't come yell at us at tax classification
Yeah,
hearings.
no, and I don't want to hear you say to us, you have to have a special invitation to tax classification hearing.
November, you don't show
It's
up.
open to the public.
All in favor of awarding the Central Fire Station to Calvin Moore for the sum of $50,000? Say aye.
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 Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Hey, Calvin, will you sign the paperwork yet? Come on.
Where's the check?
I'll go get the check right now.
Thank you.
Alan.
Alan,
follow
real
that
quick,
man.
now that this is off your plate per se.
Thank you.
Oh, the work just begins now.
No, I know, but I mean, in terms of
Yes.
economic development, pharmacy, I mean, stuff like that. I know you mentioned the form-based code. What can we do to start getting that? I know that you've been dealing with this a lot, so I mean, I'm not
Yes.
just saying you haven't been doing it, I just.
Yes. I actually, I forwarded a communication. Robert and I have been discussing this, and I'm prepared. I think it was a few weeks ago, I said, I'd like to get on the agenda for the board to do a full Park Street Corridor form-based code presentation so you can get a sense. So I'm ready to do that. It's just, I know your schedule got a little messed the last few weeks, and so I'm prepared to do that. Of course, that's Robert's call to get me on the agenda, but I'm ready to do that
Want to do that the next meeting?
tomorrow morning, if you like.
April 3rd, I think.
Ready
to go.
We're gonna have,
I-
we're having
I-
the water and sewer rate hearing on the April
I
3rd.
think we need to meet, I hate to
Yeah.
say it, I think we need to meet next Tuesday.
Are you,
Because the
no.
fire chief needs ambulance rates.
We haven't met in a month. We can meet next Tuesday. As
It's
much
gonna
as
be short.
My wife's gonna strangle me, but fine. I
Could
mean,
you-
do you want?
Why didn't he have it tonight, just so curious?
I guess, I know we talked about, tax, we talked about
Yeah.
tax, I waited for Calvin to leave before I said that. Tax breaks for Park Street and.
No, we're ready to go. We have our
Just
program.
ideas, and I know you were talking about forming a committee for the pharmacy, and I'm not so much in favor of the committee. I think
No, that's.
committees get bogged down.
And Mr. Chairman, through you again, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, what I was proposing was not a committee. It's simply a
No,
group,
a
a working
working group.
group, and not doing it. But I'll say this about just the pharmacy, and I think say it's now because it's a public record. The La Cita building on Park Street was recently purchased. Okay? It has been sold, it's purchased. And the individual has purchased that property is Tracy Ezio, who is the owner of Pepperell Family Pharmacy and Tingsboro Family Pharmacy.
Okay.
She's coming in. I've been
Use that building?
I've been speaking with Ms. Ezio, which we do a lot of, but that has to be confidential, working with prospective developments. I've been, interacting with Ms. Ezio for probably 2 months or more. She's been, and this all what triggered this, of course, was the loss of the medicine shop, coming with that. So now the free market is doing what it does well. It knows there's great business here, so she has purchased the property. I scheduled a meeting with our town planner, my colleague Mark Archambault, and Tracy Ezio a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and we're talking about, she'd like to bring her local pharmacy here to Ayer.
Well, that's local. I mean, we were talking about the pharmacy with the medicine shop. I was talking about.
Can you do some, through the chair, could you do a brief thing on the form-based code on Tuesday if they meet?
Certainly.
Why don't we do that
It's.
in the interest of time, because we still.
Yeah, no, I know, and I don't want to keep you. I just
Yeah.
hadn't.
May I
talked,
qualify
and
this, though, Robert, again, through you, Mr. Chairman? and I have to say this as a professional, form-based codes and that presentation, for me to come here and do it for you in 10 minutes or 15 minutes would be a disservice to you in this town. It's not the type of stuff you do, quick, rapid presentations. It's complex, it's deep, it gets into development patterns, zoning, everything. It really requires a half hour for me to do it properly. And I know it's something we've held off on for some time, so I would hate to come in, do something in a forced way in 10 minutes, and not to be effective, lose it all, because I wasn't able to communicate effectively or whatever. So that's my only
I just want
concern.
something that's going to get this thing moving. I mean, it's...
Well, I'll
you
say
know,
this about
the-
Park Street as well, Mr. Chairman. We know now with the new car thing, we have underground tanks there. This is what is holding up development. We have interested parties that want to develop on Park Street now. We have an issue with the properties. I did research. In 2015, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts adopted new laws whereby if you have an underground storage tank on your property, and if you are not using it over a period of 6 months, it is legally designated as an abandoned tank.
Yeah, I'm well aware of that, yeah.
If we're serious as a town about getting Park Street moving, we must immediately contact our legal counsel, contact the Chapman family, and inform them. They are to remove those underground storage tanks from that property. It's their legal obligation now.
I agree. And shouldn't...
So, I'm ready to do this tomorrow morning.
I would have thought the DEP would have done that when they discovered the tanks, but...
Well, nonetheless, I'm ready to do this through my office tomorrow morning. I have sent, Robert and I have been discussing this, so I am chomping at the bit
All right,
to get
I
Park
don't
Street
think we
rolling.
need to vote on that. I mean, that's not even...
Why don't we, because unfortunately, we're gonna need to meet on the 27th, so
Okay.
why don't we do this on the 27th?
Very good, yes.
There's 3 items. It would be the form-based, the ambulance rates, and the agreement with Mr. Hilliard. We have to get him in here,
All right.
okay?
And Mr. Chairman, just one thing, so as you're looking in, I'll just say, last week, I was contacted by another prospective party who would like to bring a local pharmacy to this town. So what has happened is the free market is doing
Of course, yeah.
what it does best. It sees, it knows there's a niche, a market to be serviced, and so they're coming here. And I'll just, Mr. Chairman, as well, this will be, and I'll end with this. I know you and I, we've been talking a lot, and my predecessor, Mr. Mahar, I know you had him working as well on a Tract, a CVS, a Walgreens, or a Rite. We want a national chain.
No, actually,
And-
the people stopped that a few years ago.
Right.
That's what,
Okay.
the town people stopped it.
Okay.
People stopped it.
The town people
All right.
didn't want it, that's what I'm saying.
Because
They-
the
they acted
moderator
like we
said
had-
we're
no,
ruined.
And I'm sorry, I
no,
didn't want to bring all that
so
up.
just
but I'll-
letting you know.
You're
Yes.
admitting
why it
that
wouldn't
is not
happen.
true at all,
All right.
but okay.
And I'm sorry, I don't mean to
Um,
bring this up and churn it up, but
no,
I'll just
it's
make
not.
this quick observation about economic, basically. There's a reason that the large chains they're not here. It's not because they don't know Ayer is here. They probably know more about the demographics of this and the economics than I do, or any of us do. There's a reason they're not here. It's because the formulaic conditions are not working for what they do.
They're in Maine.
What I'm intrigued with, though, because I come from cities and places I've worked with, what their heartbreak is, we've lost our local pharmacies, the things we really loved, our local family-owned pharmacies, and now we have to go to these national chains, Alan. Geez, isn't it a shame we
But
lost
they're all
them?
going to be gone eventually, though.
I
That's the
understand,
thing.
but the interesting thing, Mr. Chairman, about Ayer is, and this is what I love about this town, by the way, and what makes it so very special, the market is saying to us, the big chains don't want to be, this is not the place. We have local pharmacies fighting, competing with each other to be here. Very few towns can say that in cities anymore. It's happening in Ayer today, right now. So I think this is just something, though, that the free market is telling us good local pharmacies. And this is something that most people, most town cities have lost, and they wish they could get back. So I know you'd like me to be out, attracting a chain, but the free market is saying, here, we're doing it. And it's something, frankly, that people are saying, God, this is wonderful. We can deal with local people again and not that. So I just have to make that observation in the big picture as your Director of Economic and Community Development. We're prepared to go out and do whatever we're directed to do.
There's
But
a reason the medicine shop's not there anymore, though. They're being put out by the big pharmacies, whether you like it or not. I'm not saying I like it.
You're right.
I'm not saying
You're
that
right.
even for
Yes.
prescriptions. I'm just saying
Yes.
for the general things store like that you need I go to CVS all the time, I buy Sharpies for work.
Yes.
Stuff like that.
And that's what I'm realizing. It's not so much the pharmaceutical. You're right. It's that larger retail component.
I stopped the other day to get Excedrin. But I would buy that at Shaw's if I was there. You know what I mean? It's just that
understand.
stuff
Yes.
that Ayer is lacking. That just quick, I need a notebook. I'm just...
a ream of paper.
Yeah.
Don't forget our Family Dollar store.
No, I understand, but I'm just saying that I guess that's...
They were mobbed today.
This is great. But no, point well taken, Mr. Chairman. Point well
That's
taken.
what I'm talking about. It has nothing to do with, because I go to Oscar's at Shaw's. That's not going to change. That's Brian Bank. It has no benefit to me prescription-wise.
Right.
But I think it's that at least that side of town, well, I guess probably this side of town too, is missing.
Point well
We don't
taken.
have that. We have the convenience stores, which is great. They'll always be there. It's the next step stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to go to Lunenburg for Walmart.
Right. I want to thank the three of you. You saved a very important historic property.
Yeah, you said that to us last time.
I know.
We're gonna wait.
I know.
It's the
And it
blues.
killed me to say it because of what I've been
When the dotted line
involved
is
in
signed,
today.
we're not jinxing nothing.
We got to get into executive
You're right.
session.
Yeah, we haven't even done the town administrator's
I have a whole
report.
report that's been sitting here for 2 weeks,
Sorry. Right.
and I'm not going to be rushed through it.
No, take your time. Sorry.
Thanks, Alan.
That wasn't directed at you.
All right.
Under the administrative update, briefly, I'm recommending that the board meet on the 27th for 3 items that I'm aware of. One is to get Mr. Hillier in here, which I will talk about in a moment under item number 6 regarding the host agreement, because he needs to submit a host agreement to the Department of Public Health by April the 1st. And I think that it would be best to have him here with the board to discuss some of the outstanding terms. And I'll tell you some of the terms that we've put on the table with respect to that. Also, the fire chief would like to discuss with the board the ambulance fees for FY19. And as the chair just discussed with the economic development director, doing the form-based code discussion in Park Street and so forth for the 27th. I don't anticipate any other items, but I think in the interest with all the snow and so forth, the biggest thing would be Alan's piece at a half hour. The chief would need about 10 minutes.
Let's just do it.
So
we missed a month.
All right. Then we'll proceed. And then April 3rd is a regular meeting, but the water and sewer rate public hearing will be part of the BOS meeting as Selectman Livingston chairs the Water and Sewer Rate Review Committee. The recommendations will be made with the presentation, and the rates we'd ask to be voted on the 3rd.
This is our regular week.
That's
right?
3rd is your regular week.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first action item I have that is in your packet is the approval of the FY19 capital budget. And as the board is aware, and Selectman Hillman is the chair of the Capital Planning Committee, the Capital Planning Committee met multiple times throughout the fall of 2017 into 2018 and has put forth their recommendations on a capital plan. What I'm looking for respectfully tonight, and you have it in your packet, their recommendations, is your approval as far as preparing this for the warrant. Ultimately, town meeting will decide on this, but I think it would be a positive step if we could move forward with the recommendations of the Capital Planning Committee. You have those requests as approved by the Capital Planning Committee, and I want to thank Ms. Gabri for putting this together. And what you will see, there is a column where it says purchase C Note A. On some of these requests, this is the recommendation of Ms. Gabri and I to use free cash on some of these smaller purchases. So you'll see the total general fund capital request for FY19 was the total request that we received was $1,674,950. Then you see what was approved by the Capital Planning Committee was $859,950. And we're recommending of that $859,950 that $155,000 of those come from the free cash. Specifically, the senior center feasibility study, the voting machines, the IT infrastructure upgrades, these are servers, the dock system for Sandy Pond at $25,000, various hoses, nozzles, and appliances for the fire department, and on the highway department under DPW, the flail mower at $30,000 for the free cash expenditures. Then on the second page,
Could I just make a correction quickly? It's not from free cash, it's from capital stabilization.
thank you.
I wondered where you were seeing.
Yeah.
I think I just made a mistake.
From capital stabilization, which we have done in the past, is on the small purchases, use the capital stabilization. On the second page, which did you get the second page in the packet, which was the enterprise funds?
No.
No.
All right. Second page. The second page. What?
So that's one.
You got it, Gary?
The second page are the enterprise funds. The Capital Planning Committee has recommended from the fire chief $300,000 for a new ambulance, or ambulance replacement.
Can I just touch on that real quick?
Yeah.
So, the question was asked, money in the ambulance fund we have.
Yeah.
Due to our bond rating, I believe, right, is fantastic. I mean, our borrowing rates are so low.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's foolish to take $300,000 when you're borrowing it, I don't know, 2% or whatever it is we're down to now because of
Right.
the good work of everybody. So I just want to point that out. That's
Yep.
when we borrow, I wish I could borrow it.
This was, I got one question on it. I forgot, we had a by-board meeting earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we went through this stuff already, but I forgot to ask about the ambulance.
Mhm.
So is that one that we upgraded to be
The ALS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so did we spend all that money on that equipment and now,
This is the other one.
This is the old one.
This is the old
This is the
one.
reserve one.
okay.
So we upgraded the newer one, the one they ride. I think they run all the time.
Yeah.
That
And they
we
have the
I
backup.
thought we upgraded the old one because it wasn't upgraded.
I think we did the cot,
Right.
but that's transferable though to the new
It is?
the power cot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
That rolls over. I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
You're correct.
okay.
And then, as you can see on the water, when the Capital Planning Committee met, it did approve the $200,000 for the water main replacements, $350,000, and then approved the $200,000 for the water main, $50,000 for the water tank mixing system, and $65,000 for the utility truck. Of course, since then, this whole PFAS issue from the DEP has presented itself, and the original estimate was $5 million for the carbon plant solution. As you can see on this, at this time, through the work of the superintendent with the consultant and others, we're at $4,170,000. And so my question is, the Capital Planning Committee did discuss towards the end of its meetings and did discuss with the superintendent this issue. We didn't have all of the information we have now. My question is, does the board want the Capital Planning Committee to reconvene, to discuss this? I mean, so I guess what I'm saying, this recommendation, the $4,170,000, and it's an accurate and needed recommendation, is from the superintendent and the consultant. Capital Planning never had a dollar figure at that time, in full disclosure.
Could it, the way you're doing it now, work for a year? Or is it, who knows?
What do you mean?
Like, let's just say we didn't implement this system, we didn't approve this money in May.
No, because I would guess that we're going to, based on schedule, again, it depends on what the DP approves, that we would be under construction a year from now.
Okay,
And so we need that money to award the bid.
understood.
Uh,
And this,
and have it online.
this would have to be approved by DEP, obviously. This.
Right, so the thing that could delay it is how long they want us to pilot test. It's like, but if we can pilot test and start the design sort of simultaneously with approval at a town meeting, then
Would
fast track it.
we fund from capital and then pursue what Mark was talking about with the low interest loan and stuff like that? Like,
So the plan at this point is to at least present this borrow authorization to town meeting.
Mhm.
And if we don't have to use it, then we don't have to use it.
Sure.
And if we do have to use it and then we find funds from somewhere that are gonna come in, they'll go back and replenish the water department and they'll go back to the enterprise fund.
okay. No, that's all. It's just, this is the first I heard about that, deferred.
Yeah, so I'm going to a meeting with the DEP funding group, I think it's April 3rd. And I'll get more information on how
Okay.
the whole program works, but basically, they fund the short-term borrowing for free, and then close on the loan if we don't get the money reimbursed.
Okay.
Do you think you guys need to meet again?
I don't think we need to meet, Mary. Do we? I mean, you're part. I mean, I think we were all shocked at the number, and we didn't know at the time. The DEP was kind of when they were gonna,
Right.
Unveil this, and so we didn't really take any action on it. But
And this has been revised down?
Yes,
Yeah, it was
we
fine.
were
And
looking.
I still think it's a conservative number. I think it's, like I said, we could do either GAC or ion exchange. If we do it with ion exchange, I think that it would be even less than this.
And I think Ms. Cabri makes a good point. The plan is that we're going to put this before town meeting for their authorization, for the borrow authorization, and as she said, if we don't meet all of it or what have you, then that can be rescinded. But I don't believe that it needs,
I
we
don't
need a
think so.
capital meeting,
No.
but just in full disclosure procedurally.
No one wants to spend. I mean, this isn't something we want to
So-
do, but we have to. Mary, I'm sorry.
Real quick, Robert, didn't we also say too that we were gonna get our state rep, state senator, and
Yes,
see what they can do to help us
I believe
push things along?
Benson's coming next
April
meeting.
3rd, yep,
Okay.
yeah, so.
Because Jamie's working hard on all the stuff we brought up to him.
So then, the last piece, you'll see on sewer, there's 50,000 on the collection system, and 100,000 on the right-way pumping station, and then under the solid waste, that's been tabled for a year. So, for the purposes of tonight, of course, if there are more questions, would be respectfully recommending that the board would consider approving the FY19 capital plan in the amount of $859,950 for the general fund, with $155,000 of that coming from capital stabilization as sort of the first motion.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And then the second would be on the enterprise that that the board authorize to approve the ambulance in the amount of $300,000 as recommended, the $200,000 on the water main as recommended, the $50,000 on the storage tank mixing system, the $65,000 on the utility truck, the $50,000 on the collection system, and the $100,000 on the right-way pumping station, and the borrow authorization article in the amount of $4,170,000 for town meeting.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye. A lot of work.
Yes, I would like to thank Mr. Chairman. I know you're on the committee. I'd like to thank all of the Capital Planning Committee, as always, as a great group. Superintendent Wetzel, all of the department heads, and Ms. Gabri for all of their work for another successful capital year. Also, the Water and Sewer Rate Review Committee as well, and we'll talk more about the rates on the 3rd. Number 3 on my report, the special town meeting update. This agenda, obviously the zoning bylaw passed and the solar bylaw passed last night. I want to thank the board for their support and also the departments involved. The next item is the 2019 budget update. So just a couple of things. We did have a by-board meeting, as Selectman Luca mentioned, before this meeting, and we're proposing that there be the Board of Selectmen, the warrant closes on April 13th, and the Board of Selectmen is scheduled to meet April 17th, and we're proposing a joint meeting of the Board of Selectmen and the Finance Committee for the budget and the warrant on the 17th. We have to get the warrant to print and for mailing purposes by noon on the 20th. So I think the takeaway is, I think it'll be good, for the agenda for the 17th, have the FinCom, the BOS go through the warrant and the budget in terms of the budget update. Additionally, the budget process continues and is underway. There are some remaining items that are still pending, and I want to talk about some of them under the government reorg. There's a government reorg issue, the patrol and dispatch contracts, which we'll talk about under executive session. On the 28th, I'm going to the FinCom next Wednesday to talk about the government reorg, which I'm going to talk to you about in just a moment, and also to discuss the COLA, the cost of living recommendation. As the board is probably aware, most of the major indexes, the Federal Reserve of Boston, the Consumer Price Index, and so forth, and we'll get you, Mr. Johnson is working on putting these together, so you'll have them. But generally speaking, the recommendation or the cost of living index is at about 2%. And when we look at comparable communities, most of the communities in terms of COLA are considering mostly around the 2%. There are a few that are slightly higher, which the unions like to remind me about. There are a few that are lower. So we'll discuss the COLA with the FinCom, and we can discuss that more with the board on the 17th when we meet with the FinCom. But from my vantage point, the recommendation as it was last year and the year before is looking to be about 2%, but that'd be ultimately for the board to decide.
Excuse me, Robert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I ran the CPI at our budget meeting, and it comes in at 2%.
Yeah.
So it's 1.8 to 2.2. So
We've been pretty consistent, even I think when it was lower. I mean, we've been 2% since I've been on the board.
But I mean,
COLA every year, right?
Yeah, but there's always that argument that no, it isn't that much. It's 1%.
No, I think you're right. I think the 1.8 to 2.2 seems correct to me.
Yeah. So I mean, not a decision for tonight, but just I will be discussing it with the FinCom as I am with you, and I'll get you those actual indices so we have them.
Like I said, and I don't want to. We got to get through this, but
yeah.
I mean, even saying what I said to Lieutenant Gill. I mean, if he got a 0 or 1%, I mean, it greatly diminishes what he should be getting compared to the union folk.
So lastly, on the budget, again, as this board knows, it remains a work in progress right up to the deadline, and even at town meeting there can be adjustments, is when we discuss with the buy board, just briefly, the issue of the free cash for FY19. As the board is aware, the certified free cash was $1,083,562, and what we're recommending or proposing for the free cash is, first, there's a $4,000 bill for that teenage and anxiety service, which has been a great service for the schools, and it was supposed to be put in the regional school district budget for FY18.
That's what I thought we talked about.
And it
last year.
wasn't. And so we owe them the $4,000. That's not the issue. But what I'm proposing, there are two potential proposals. One is we have a special town meeting right before the regular for this single item. But also I'm proposing that in the host agreement, which we'll get to on the medical, on the retail marijuana, that maybe this be part of it. But either way, we obviously
You
have.
can throw in there is fine.
And then moving forward, this will be rectified.
You can correlate.
The OPEB Board of Trustees, which Selectman Livingston is the chair of, has met, and as we've done in past practice, the recommended OPEB contribution is $300,000, and we're looking to use $128,000 from the meals tax and $172,000 from the free cash on that. And we've done that in the past. Also recommending $200,000 for the UDAG replenishment for the police radio infrastructure. We're recommending $10,000 for the conservation fund. If you remember, there was the $500,000 approved for the conservation fund, and there was the discussion about the town continuing with its commitment to that. And then we're recommending that $600,000 be put into capital stabilization and $97,562 be put in the stabilization. And the reason there is our capital stabilization, recent years, we've made a commitment to build that up to the appropriate benchmark. We reached that previously, the appropriate benchmark with stabilization. So that's sort of the thoughts on the free cash recommendation at this time. Of course, no decision's been made, and we can further discuss, but I thought I would put that out there, and I'll get this to the whole board, because we just did this up for this evening.
Yeah, capital stabilization's up to 1.4 million with this year's deposit. It's good.
So,
I was just, I don't know, call me a order, but I always worry about those unforeseen.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
I know. A fire engine goes down.
Or, yeah, we get sued.
Right.
So two last items in my report. The government reorganization update. I'm pleased to report that finally all 4 special acts are pending in the state Senate. They've been approved by the House of Representatives. They're over at the Senate. They need to just be approved by the Senate and signed by the governor, and they would go into effect. So we're really hoping and pushing that this could be implemented before the town meeting, in terms of making some of the mechanics easier. So we will keep you updated on that. Upon approval of the special acts, the town clerk will go to a full-time town clerk, and I'll be coming forth with the town clerk to you with a personal service contract. The position is already graded per the town system, and we'll have a recommendation on the step and some of the other things as negotiated with the town clerk. The treasurer tax collector position will be full-time and appointed. Once the act is approved, assigned by the governor, we will proceed with a hiring process in terms of the job description. And again, this has been graded and the job description exists, but we've been advised that we cannot proceed with advertising and hiring for the position until it's approved. But once it is, we will move forward with that. I'm looking to use a search committee from our financial team to be involved with that. When the tree warden goes appointed, my plan at this point is to keep everything as it is the same. It'll be
through his term, right?
appointed.
Yeah,
It's through his term.
Yeah.
I don't, if it's appointed, as in the past, because it was at the town meeting, whatever the townwide COLA is, I wouldn't be opposed to recommending. But we're going to keep that, at least for the first, we're going to keep that the same. And there are some ideas that the DPW superintendent and I and the tree warden
I think would be is who would he fall under, I guess, as reporting to?
At this point, he's going to report once it's approved to me,
Okay.
and then, but we will have to discuss.
DPW.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you figure that out after, but.
Lastly, on the physical reorganization of Town Hall, and I want to thank Chuck Schultz and Miss Antonellis for their work on this. We had to, so what's going to happen is and I met with the chairman of the Board of Assessors, and I also met with the entire Board of Assessors recently. The assessor's main office is going to become the treasurer tax collector's office. And there'll be two positions in there, the treasurer tax collector, who we're going to hire, who we don't know, and the assistant tax collector.
Tom's office?
Where Jackie was,
Oh, okay.
the big office.
Yep, okay.
So that, we need to put two people in there,
Is she gonna move to the,
and so she already has. So
over to the?
then Miss Jackie, the
Mhm.
assistant to the town assessor,
Yeah.
has moved to the room in front of Tom.
Where it should be.
The old conference. the
And
old
that-
little-
where that position was originally, and she's using the service window for assessing there.
That's right, that's connected to your little thing, right, Susan?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that door that I've never seen open. All right,
Yeah.
that's what that's for.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
The financial assistant that's been in Ms. Copeland's office is going to move to Ms. Gabri's. We have a new assistant town accountant. The financial assistant, which is supported, that's Ms. Bashara, is going to move over to accounting. And then
Okay.
where Martha's office
And
was.
who's moving into Martha's office?
So Martha's office has the assistant town
Yeah.
accountant, and it's
Oh, all
gonna-
right, all right.
those two.
Okay.
And then the town clerk and the assistant town clerk are going to be where they are because of the vault and so forth. And I appreciate the support of all departments on it. That's the plan right now, as I think this board can appreciate. This is a spectacular building. It has 3 challenges: adequate office space, adequate meeting space, and adequate storage space, but that's for another night. We are losing that space as a meeting space where Miss Jackie is now. So the 2 meeting spaces here right now are this room and the Great Hall.
Can we, but we have, can we utilize the room at the PD? I mean, if there's other meetings on other nights or at.
Yeah,
you have no objections to that, chief? There's a beautiful room down there, or at the fire station.
Yeah.
Yeah, outside when they first started forming these two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I just
so-
think we should utilize those areas more.
Yeah, and I'm going to be talking to some of the boards and committees
Upstairs is
about that,
big
and
house, but-
we'll keep moving forward. So, the last thing on the government reorganization that I would like to recommend and request support from the board from is the reclassification of the assistant to the town administrator to the position of assistant town manager, assuming the acts pass and we can move forward. And this is the reasoning behind this. So the position of assistant to the town administrator has evolved significantly over the last several years, not only here in Ayer, but other places, from a traditional clerical position more to a professional position requiring specific education, skills, and expertise. And you'll see that across the Commonwealth. In Littleton, there's an assistant,
Westford has an assistant
Westford,
town manager.
Groton, and so forth. Additionally, when you look under the best practices, and I talked about this at the town meeting and at my presentations in municipal government, is the development and the implementation of succession planning to take into account the effective continuity of government in the event of unforeseen circumstances. So one of the big reasons I recommended the town manager position is that the town manager can, as this board knows, in very specific and for short periods of time, delegate his or her authority to an appropriate department head, and I would argue that naturally that should be the assistant. Additionally, if the town manager is incapacitated, should resign or leave, I mean, we never know what's going to happen, there's a level of continuity with somebody that understands the operations and the position, and at least there can be that seamless.
I don't think you have to explain it. I mean, it makes perfect
yeah.
sense. I
Okay.
mean, you've been here when town administrators have left. I think it's probably been a nightmare, right,
Yeah.
Tommy?
Yeah.
You know,
It just
board-
seems natural,
yeah, when
assistant
Sean
town
left,
administrator
yeah,
becomes the assistant town
yeah,
manager.
or when you're on vacation. I mean, it
But-
just.
Okay,
Don't
so
get any funny ideas about that one little comment you made, like, leaving or something?
Oh.
Okay.
So
I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No.
I don't need.
Well,
to
I
explain
appreciate
it.
I appreciate the support, and it's not contrary to what a couple people out there have said, and I have corrected. It's not about me. It's not about the people that are there.
No,
it's about the structure of government
position.
moving forward, the position. And what I'm proposing is this reclassification, subject to obviously the acts being approved. And if that's the case, it would be effective for July 1st. But I am recommending a change, obviously, in the compensation of the assistant town manager's position. It's currently a grade 9, step 11. We've redone the job description, which I can get to the board. Mm-hmm. And if you take the job description and you use the HRS system, originally it came out very similar to what the lieutenant was. However, upon some further look at it, I would recommend that it be a grade 14. And what does that? So right now, the incumbent is making $79,211, and the increase would be to $93,536. It's a $14,000 increase.
Yeah.
However, keep in mind that the current incumbent used to get overtime because it was an hourly position. The position of the assistant town manager needs to be a salaried position subject to no overtime. So we take the $4,000 out of the budget. Additionally, the position, so a couple other things. The position is the assistant town manager. I am not recommending that we hire, if we make an assistant town manager, we're not hiring another person, meaning a
I just
clerical
presumed
person.
that was going to be, I just thought that was
just
going
the
to change.
natural
Right.
transition.
I mean,
So
I
it's
think
the
you're
natural
explaining
transition.
it.
So
Yeah.
the incumbent would continue. She does a much better job than I do on the clerical end, the clerical functions, and
It has been noted.
Yeah.
yeah.
We have noticed.
And she would continue to serve as the parking clerk, the zoning, and so forth. And I just want to, it shouldn't be about the person, but the job description does reflect this because, and it's perhaps apropos that she's not here tonight because it's often embarrassing when somebody says something positive about you. I haven't had that experience in a long time.
Wait a minute. Wasn't there an offer of somebody to buy you a Prius and everything?
That was from the superintendent.
Snap it up. We got things to
okay.
And don't expect it in the future.
Yeah.
Right. I don't. So, to conclude, the position that has served a key role in the contract negotiations, and I don't just mean on the clerical end, but on a decision level, handles an enormous amount of confidential information. I've authorized her to negotiate all of the town's insurance contracts, and this year alone, we're going to save $115,000 on the 111F through her efforts. She's a certified procurement officer, which is a requirement of the job description because though I'm the town's procurement officer and Superintendent Wetzel has a lot of experience on the DPW end, the procurement is a huge piece. She has been authorized to facilitate our internal land use group. She serves a key role on the budget.
CPA.
She did and so that's what I'm getting at. In other words, we had a traditional clerical position. Additionally, the job description requires a bachelor's degree at minimum with a master's preferred. The current individual we have does have a master's in public administration from UMass. So in the interest of time in preparing the budget, I'm looking and I'm prepared. I'm going to speak to the FinCom about this on the 28th, and I'm prepared to speak about it and present it to town meeting. I'm respectfully looking for your support to create the position of assistant town manager at a grade 14, step 2, assuming approval by the legislature for the reorg and subject to town meeting.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I thought it was going to, and I think if you needed to speak or explain, I think you can talk to the department heads of how you guys interact with Ms. Antonellis and how helpful she is.
Yeah. So moved.
even though she can drive me crazy sometimes, she's very good at what she does.
Yes.
So
So,
there's a
oh, was that a motion? Oh, I'm
Well,
sorry,
he
do you want a
made it.
motion?
So
Oh,
moved.
all right.
Oh, seconded.
I didn't know you were looking for a motion, I thought you
Yeah,
were
we
just
didn't
waiting
know
for a
you were
support.
looking for a motion. You just said you wanted our support.
Yeah,
So
all in
we said,
favor?
Aye.
You know, aye.
Aye.
You got it.
I got 2 minutes. The last, thank you very much.
We don't put you on a time frame. You're
Thank-
just gonna talk, do what you're
No.
gonna do.
The retail recreational marijuana update, couple things. One is, I'm going to discuss this with the FinCom on the 28th, but with you, I'm recommending that the Board of Selectmen support and the FinCom support an article at the Springtown meeting that would enact the statute for the town to tax all retail marijuana at 3%.
Absolutely.
Okay, so, all right, so that will be on the warrant.
Second.
The second piece is, I have, we have put to, this board previously authorized myself to start the discussions and negotiations with Mr. Hillier on the host agreement. And I've put a bunch of things out there, and he needs the host agreement for April 1st to the DPH. Now, it's.
Why does it feel like everything with this is so rushed?
It's
Is it?
So-
We missed
So-
meetings and everything.
So these are the things that we have on the table. First of all, it's a 5-year agreement. However, I've insisted and put on the table that it's subject to being opened by him and the board, or by the board every year. Because what I'm getting at, the significance is that we may not think of everything.
That's my concern.
Right,
yeah,
so we do it on an annual
Put
basis.
that opener in there, yeah.
The second thing is,
No, it gives you an idea as to what's working, what's not working.
the second thing, because some of you have indicated to me that there should be a monetary component, in many communities there are, called the impact fee. However, we've learned from the Cannabis Commission and
Oh, they've come up with
in
something
the
good.
state that the impact fee has to be based on community impact data, meaning police calls, fire calls, so forth. We don't have any.
So that's something
So we
can
gotta
do.
wait for the.
Well, I put 100,000
Well,
in there.
that was my question, because,
Yeah.
I mean, Chief, we don't know what this is gonna bring. I mean, it could bring nothing. It could bring more calls, could be more traffic accidents up there due to whatever, where the location is. I mean, I don't know. But I mean, we don't, no clue.
So that's one of the things, Mr. Hillier, we need to discuss on Tuesday is the impact fee, because he's represented by Attorney Lilly, and they're saying that, well, what are you basing your impact fee on? And I'm saying, well, granted, we don't have, and this is a positive to Central Ave, hence maybe.
It's a completely different animal,
Right.
though. Completely
The
different.
other thing is,
Besides the product, there's no comparison.
on the table is obviously the Youth Works program at 30,000, the DARE program at 6,500. Yep, the
Suicide, yeah.
SAFE program, which is the fire program. I'm going to ask if we can do the TADS program. He's committed to a $12,000 granite sign, welcome to Air sign.
Just
Finally.
welcome or all are welcome?
Welcome.
We have select.
Jeez.
Whoa. But anyway,
My
so,
God.
but the thing is, I think we need, obviously, to meet with him to tie this up. And I've told
I
him
agree.
that the board, of course, and obviously we're going to get the 3%, but in talking with Ms. Gabri today, that we won't know until a year from now.
We have no idea what the
with
3% is on.
with the
Yeah.
history,
And
what
that's what's on the books.
3% will be. So
Right.
that's why I think we should meet on the 27th. I will send,
I agree.
what I'm going to send to you is just what I've discussed with John.
Mhm.
Both Attorney Lilly and John understands that the buck stops with you people, but I think we need to come to a first-year agreement.
I agree. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yep.
And I mean, other the department heads, the
Yeah.
fire safety, Chief Murray,
Yeah.
Pedrazi, we've talked, obviously,
Yeah.
my point was, I don't care if it's my grandmother, I would ask for just like Calvin does, ask for everything we can ask for.
Right.
I mean, he's the only one around,
So
as much as I like him.
they balked at the impact fee, but I said, well, let's discuss it with the board, because this is coming from the board.
Did you raise your hand?
Impact.
No.
Oh, sorry.
So that will be for the 27th.
Okay.
I will send that, and so
Okay.
with that, I want to thank you for your time and attention and your continued support. I know it's a lot of material in this weather.
Well, we haven't met in a month.
And
I
the
mean,
weather hasn't cooperated.
Robert, we appreciate you and the
Oh.
way you put the package
Oh.
together.
That was just,
You know, I
Man.
would have given him a compliment, but he
Yeah.
repeated himself
Can,
like 5 times.
All right, so next week, just while we're here, can we discuss town councils? Apparently, you can fine as a community
Yes.
railroad ties. I got this from the railroad
Really?
in our meeting on the culvert that collapsed, and
So-
those are the communities that get cleaned up.
Really?
And I don't want to. I mean, I know you
it
looked
was,
into it.
It's your idea.
Yeah, I just.
I don't disagree with it. It's just-
I mean, you know all the ties we've talked about, and they're
Oh,
stacked
yeah.
everywhere. Well,
Yeah.
when we had our emergency meeting down in Wagon Road, because we're about to start canoeing to Selectmen's meetings,
Cool.
they let it slip that they do clean up the ties, but only in the communities that they receive fines in.
Oh.
And there's certain towns and communities that fine them for, and Chief Pedrazi might know more, but they can only stay for so long, because they're a fire hazard, they're unsightly, probably conservation issues in terms of where they're left in the wetlands, so I think we should certainly do that. For
Absolutely.
The dumping ground we
Actually,
become.
we could do that for the 27th, the end
Yeah.
of the time, so.
Yeah, that's what I mean, I just
Yeah.
want to bring it up, and then Mark better have a freaking update.
They
and-
will.
or be building something by then, because this is
Yep.
absurd.
Yep,
Construction
interest
season's
of
just
ti-
about gone.
yeah,
I know you were frustrated, I'm just,
yeah.
I know.
There's snow on the ground.
I know.
You can still go out to bid.
So to Selectman
Put a
Hillman's,
proposal with a short turnaround.
which
on
is
it.
his idea, we gotta get photos of all of the sites which we're gonna do, meaning the rail ties.
Sand Pond Road,
And we issue,
Yeah, it's
a-
not awful.
where Kane's.
and you issue a formal notice.
Well, Robert got to see it out in my neck of the woods when we had to meet down
Yeah.
the access road.
And then
Just
I think
dumping
that,
ground,
I think that
beautiful
the Board
area.
of Selectmen should consider on Tuesday implementing the
That
finding.
would have to be a town meeting thing, right?
Yeah,
We could,
board.
and Mark will have something of what we
Yeah.
can do. Okay.
Can we find out how much per tie?
Yeah, he was checking on
Yeah,
how.
I didn't know.
We were checking on how that works because, believe it or not, it's been by the tie, it's been by the size, so nothing's ever easy.
Wow.
There is thousands
Mhm.
of ties just from Wagon Road to
Oh, yeah.
here.
The whole
Just
length
just
of the
strewn.
rail-
I'm not even counting the ones that are stacked.
There's trees growing through some of
Yeah,
them.
you're right. Go ahead, Chance.
So on the note of like fees and whatnot, fines, could you check to see like what fees that we have, like, you know,
Oh.
the alcohol licenses or any fees that we have? When were they last raised?
Good.
And what
Yep.
can we raise?
We should raise the building department tax, from what I found out.
Yeah.
I don't
So,
agree
and
with
if-
raising just a raise, but
No, but
No, but
there's
just-
a
No,
couple-
but I
there's a
think
couple-
we do need to look as far as like, when was the last time? What is the
Right.
current rate and everything? Because that's
Some are
those
independent,
things that, because it's also administrative stuff that you really should keep on top of.
well, you know,
Because we didn't keep on top of a few things and we're updating. So you should at least have a baseline as to what you're doing and if something should be changed. I'm not saying we have to change it, but we do need to look at what's there.
look at them.
Yes.
I can't believe that, you know, the cost of what it is to create a birth certificate, that labor charge or what in the paper charge is adequate. So I don't
Well, we
like
don't
to
even
raise
know.
just to raise.
No,
I'm not
yeah,
asking,
and I agree
nobody's
with you.
asked to raise
But,
just to raise.
but like
Right.
building and stuff, like
Yeah.
some of the things are just have been
License
not because of
fee,
Charlie.
birth
Look at it,
certificate
but-
and everything, because quite honestly, I believe that the birth certificates and the marriage licenses were already taken care of by the town clerk shortly after she came on board, so that they're at where they need to be.
Yeah, I agree. Dog license. and
But,
stuff
you know,
like that.
so, but there are other things, and I'm asking for a list.
Okay.
All right.
So I think the Selectmen.
I'll argue then.
Right, not to get into the debate, that's up to you guys, but to Selectman Livingston's point, all of the clerk's fees she has done. One, for example, are the liquor licenses.
Yeah.
Now I've been here for 8 years, I'm just saying they've never been looked at
No.
or raised, and
Right.
I mean, I think we should do an
Right,
analysis.
which is what I said to
Yeah.
him when I asked my request.
Stuff like that, I understand what
I'm
Gary's
not
saying.
gonna belabor this, just
Yeah.
keep.
Yeah.
Well, and there's actually on licenses, just real
But I
quick,
agree.
there's
Dog
one
license,
other,
one thing. Liquor license, different thing.
there's one other point that the Cannabis Commission, we've not been provided clarity on. And that is, there's one retail license.
Mhm.
The question is, we're assuming it's annual, and what's the fee for that? So I'm just,
Oh.
because that would be issued, though it's issued by the
There's a paper's
state,
license.
the local amount, it would be the Board of Selectmen, so.
That's true.
The
Harley's
Cannabis
trying to-
Commission should have a representative that comes to every town that has an approved facility.
We've tried,
It's amazing, and
they're very busy.
talk to us all, tell us, but they don't.
Yeah,
But anyway, let's.
okay, so we'll do a fees
And
license
Mark,
review.
but we can talk
And
about
Mark,
that.
yeah. That's my report.
Approval of minutes.
Minutes.
You want to just do this next Tuesday, Selectmen's questions? You said
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, one of them was marked, so.
All right, good. So we're on the same page, I'm sure,
Yeah.
on that. Minutes of April 13th,
I'd like to
2018.
make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from February 13th, 2018, and the meeting minutes from February 20th, 2018.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anything else? Good.
When you get a chance, those are yours.
All right, that concludes our open session
Oh, the sign, I'm sorry.
portion of tonight's festivities. What's that?
I'm actually.
Read this?
Yeah, you're good at it. You know it all. You
Yeah,
read it better than the two of
I
us.
was wearing two hats.
I'd like to make a motion that we move into
Oh, yeah.
executive session pursuant to Mass General Law. Chapter 38, Section 21A, Exemption 3, collective bargaining. Text, Section 21 MOA. Section 3, collective bargaining, regional dispatch MOA. Exemption 3, collective bargaining, police and dispatch contract negotiation. Update. Exemption 3, litigation strategy, Worthing deal versus the town of Ayer. And to move, to adjourn out of executive session
As quickly as possible.
for the evening. And also to, the reason for being in executive session would be a detriment to the town if it was an open session.
Second, it's a roll call, right? Gary?
Aye.
Janice?
Aye.
Chair says aye. We're in executive session. Good night.